Hello everyone, welcome back to a Tomato Sauce stream. Today we're going to be playing in the Angel Cup. We have started a little bit later than usual, so we will be firing pretty much straight into a game when the bracket goes up, which should be in around a minute, so we're looking forward to that. Who do we have in chat? We have Ninjetti Ursus. Welcome, welcome. I assume you're playing today? Yes, you are, competitor number 17. So hopefully we don't get paired against Ursus because we'll get knocked out very quickly. Also, Dwan is here as well, and he's also in the tournament. And again, hopefully we don't get paired against Dwan, otherwise we'll get knocked out pretty early, which is what we ideally don't want to happen. Hopefully we'll actually make it a couple rounds in. We've been a little bit unlucky / a little bit not been playing the best in these Angel Cups, so hopefully we'll actually get to progress a little bit. Who else do we have in here? We have ICU, I4CU, welcome, welcome. We have Dragson, and Ad, I got an ad. Oh no, not Dragson. And Corono's in here, first time in months, and actually on time. Welcome, welcome. Can someone borrow me dual orbs? I don't think that's possible, but we will have to wait and see. So let's take a look and see if our brackets have gone up yet. I'm going to go under the assumption that they've either just come up. I'm going to assume they've just come up. Let's have a gander. So Dwan has a bye. We do not have a bye. We're playing against a Korean YouTuber by the look of things. That's exciting. And we are all the way down here at the bottom. Let's see if our opponent sets a message. The issue is, our opponent is, I believe, has a Korean name. So, like, do I type to my opponent in Korean? Or do I type to my opponent in Japanese? That's exciting. I'm just going to type in Japanese because it's a Japanese tournament. Let's see how that works out. It'd be funny if we're both using translator to just translate our comments to each other. Try Spain. Is this a Spanish player? That doesn't look like Spanish. Our next round is me versus Tomato if you win. Oh no, I've just noticed that as well. Ooh. Alright, I'll just lose this game and it won't matter. Easy. Alright, our opponent sent us a message. He has said, thank you, excellent. And he's already in the game, so we will hop straight into that. And then we will get rid of this. So we are playing today. We are playing Royal Rebels. And we just decided to play something different because we have played nothing but Psychic in these tournaments for so long. We just want to change, so we've decided to go for this. We'll see if this ends up being okay or not. Again, we're not really, like, super try-harding. We're not really expecting to, like, win the whole thing. We're just wanting to do something different, so we've gone with this. And we'll see how this ends up working out. This hand is not the greatest hand in the world. It's not inherently terrible, but there are hands we'd rather have than this. So go ahead and just get 3 guys on the board, or 2 guys in a back row, and just see what happens. Balls. Welcome in, Soromir. Alright, when we lose this game, it's going to feel extra embarrassing because we're going to lose to Dark Magician. But, you know, it happens. You can't win them all. Sometimes you'll just have to lose to Dark Magician. Okay, so we searched the Dark Magician. I'm assuming we're going to put Dark Magician straight in the bin. The issue with Dark Magician straight in the bin is it does make it... Oh, and it's the good version as well with actual Innovator. Now, no other machines in the graveyard yet means we won't necessarily get a massive punish. It depends what he's got in hand. Has a second Innovator, still no machines in graveyard. So it looks like... Oh, come on. We already knew that was happening, but... we could potentially get a massive punish. That back row is what scares me. I mean, we're taking... nearly all of our life points immediately. We really need to find a way to get another boss monster out. This is like, we just got high roll basically, like super hard. That is extraordinarily unfortunate. Is the game just over already? Like, what else can we realistically do here? I think we've just literally been high rolled out of the game here, boys. This is not ideal. We have to use genies, because if that back row's anything, we just die. We have to summon this out. We activate the effect. Have to pop this. Go to battle. Is there a world in which we don't attack? As is, he can't out our 25 guy. If we swing with this, he can gain 7, go up to 31, attack over, then he just needs any normal summon and he kills us. If he draws almost anything, we're dead. I think the actual correct play is to not attack. Because now he at least needs to get a machine into the graveyard, or he needs to draw a TSA, or he needs to draw something. I tried Royal Rebel in the last few tournaments I played, and they didn't serve me well. I mean, that is a... Oh, yeah, that's just game. Yeah, I want to say we lost to Dark Magician, but we didn't. We lost to our opponent sacked us with Essel and had double Mirror Innovator, so that's a bit disappointing. I was hoping we were actually going to get kind of a based matchup, but instead all we found was cringe, which is very disappointing. If we had drawn a way to get another boss monster out, so that would have been a number of different things. We could have drawn a Buyer, we could have drawn a Phaser, we could have drawn a Invasion. Any of those, we got to do a massive punish there and potentially just win the game. But we didn't get lucky. Our opponent did, and that's all that really came down to. This is a big reason why we want to see Essel banned, just because, like, that kind of play was so devastating to us. I mean, it didn't help as well that we opened 3 level 8s, right? So, like, we couldn't even get 3 monsters on the field, which means we got even more punished than we otherwise would have normally. Now we just have to hope that our opponent doesn't just have the, do we throw this out? I think we are going to use this. I don't like the idea of leaving this in my hand when we could just take a load of extra free damage for no reason. Let's see what he does. Now, most of the time, this guy should just whiff. And he has whiffed, and that is both copies of Mirror Innovator. Usually this deck will only play 2. Now he's going to use Magician Shuffle, which will let him shuffle his deck, so those 2 Mirror Innovators are no longer on the bottom. We're going to send Dark Magician to the graveyard. That gives us just a 2500 guy. Tribute 1, summons out the DMG. Tributes another, is that a second DMG? Okay, so just 2 2500 guys. That's kind of okay. There's no reason to use that. We'll just let him clear these. Losing Buyer, again, doesn't really mean anything. Now's going to be the hard part. Are we going to bother getting rid of his back row? I think we probably have to. How much can we hit him for? 25 plus 15 plus 13. That's not going to be lethal damage either way. It's not a bad amount of damage, though. What we do, we'd summon this, use this, activate his effect, put that back, attack with both of those. I think that's probably the play. So we'll start out with Buyer. We'll go ahead and use Genies, and we'll just tuck that. Well, not tuck, put it back in his hand. We're then going to go ahead and activate Shadow Buyer. I think we're just going to put Royal Rebel back in the deck, or Heavy Metal. I think having it back in the deck is probably for the best. Then we'll drop the Phaser. Tribute 2. It's exactly lethal. Have I missed something? It'll be 25 plus 38, right? Unless I've missed something. Maybe I have missed something. Well, either way, we're going to do this. Flip this. Summon this. I'm now worried that I've, like, missed lethal somewhere. Oh, he's on 53. Right, he took 700 damage earlier. That's where I've missed it. I was adding up to 6k, and I was like, this isn't 6k. And I was like, no, he paid 700 life points for his silly curtain card. Okay, so good thing Sora's here. I mean, we would have got there in the end accidentally, but like, I was sat there like, have I missed like 700 damage? Alright, let's see if we can't find a win. Sora the GOAT. Always showing up. Always with his balls. We're going second for the first time in this matchup. He has opened this all 3 times. He's only gotten 1 card off of it so far. He's going to find nothing this turn. Tribute to Set. So that's almost certainly Dark Magician Girl. That's almost certainly another Dark Magician Girl. It's a bit weird that you wouldn't send Dark Magician to Graveyard. I mean, we can go for a full clear. Or we go defensive. Going defensive can be a little bit scary just in case he draws Innovator. If he doesn't draw Innovator, I think going defensive is the play. Because we could pop this, swing over this. The issue is, it leaves us with very few resources. I think we're going to chill. I think we're going to play defensive. This might end up being the wrong decision. Only time will tell. So we're just going to go Death Doom Requiem. We're going to get this out. This deck tends to want to play a bit more of a slower game anyway, so I'm quite happy to do this. The punish is if he finds, like, double Innovator. That's going to really suck. At least GB math, better than NA math. I mean, yeah. I don't think it's that much better, though. At least not when I'm involved. Maybe when the Germans are getting involved. Maybe the French. Because if we're comparing to North America, we got to compare to all of Europe, right? Alright, here he is. Barrage of Steel, so he's going to get to pop 1 of our cards. So he does hit the Stop Defense, which is probably fine. I'd rather he hit Stop Defense than the Genie's Fire Breath. So again, we had the option to dump... Have we drawn... Oh, we have the Dark Magician in hand. Right, okay. This makes sense. So we're still only going to take the 28. I mean, taking 28 is still a lot. We're not a big fan of taking 28, but it could be a lot worse, right? So if we hadn't done what we'd done, we could have cleared 2. He would have still gotten out the Mirror Innovator. That stinks. This really sucks, you know. He still has he still has multiple machines in the graveyard. We can't use this because we don't have a face-up level 7. So I'd have to get that out, then use that to get another guy out. That doesn't actually accomplish anything. I think we have to just go everything in defense mode. Which sucks, because if he just draws a second Innovator, the game is over. But, like, the alternative is that I just summon out a Heavy Metal, slam into that, and then get crashed into, take 25, and then die. So I do think we have to just play defensive. I don't think we've made any misplays yet. So the only other play we could have made is on turn 1, we could have lowered his resources down a bit more, but it still wouldn't have changed the fact that he would have ended up with a Mirror Innovator and he still would have been able to clear our guy. So, like, I don't know. Seeing a trap card would have been nice here as well, but unfortunately we haven't found any. And he's drawn the second Innovator, so the game is over. I mean, it sucks, but, like, what can we do? I think we literally got sacked game 1 and game 3 by just double Innovator. That's all that game was. It's not... I don't think... Like I said, I don't think we made any mistakes. I don't think the deck we brought was bad. I think we just got sacked. I think that's literally what it was. We got high-rolled really, really hard, and that's the only reason we lost. I don't think there was any other thing we could have done. I think we made the correct decisions. I think we brought a good deck. We just got sacked, and that's all there is. Like, it is what it is. But now, what we can do is go and watch the rest of the event. Because when we do scrub out, we will go and spectate what else is happening in the tournament. So we'll go and grab this. Open this up. Let's drop this in here. And then we'll see what is going on. So first up, let's see who's won what. It's always one of those weird ones as well. So my opponent sent me a message after the game. And all I can think of is he's going to say something along the lines of like, good games. And all I'm going to be like is like, were they good games? I don't feel like they were good games. I feel like you sacked me. I almost want, like, an apology rather than, like, a GG. Because, again, I think we played well. I don't think we made any mistakes. I think we just got utterly sacked. And I'm like, well, we can't do anything about that. It just is what it is, right? So who else have we seen? So now Neo has been knocked out, which is a bit of a shame. And that's it so far. We're the only 2 games to have finished. I guess our game was very, very quick. So let's see what's going on over here. So if we maximize this, the issue is that they stream at such a strange aspect ratio that we're going to have to change things around here, I think. So if we come down here, we do that, and then we change... No, not that. Where is it? Take this off. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. So, let's see what's going on here. So this is... Which match is this? Bilu. So this is... this is the guy that beat Now Neo is at the bottom. And Bilu is at the top. Looking like it is Machine versus Cyburst. So, you know... Sometimes when you close your eyes, sometimes feels like nothing's changed at all. As we are just back in pre-psychic meta. It's one of those weird ones where, like, again, I don't inherently, like, dislike Machine or Cyburst, but they have just been around for so long, and they have been so good for so long, that I think everyone's just getting so bored of them. And it's like, could we please just, like, as a community, agree to stop playing these, or just, just, like, nerf them? And again, I don't even want them nerfed because they're too good. I want them nerfed just because I'm bored of seeing them. And that's an awkward one. Suppose we'll stick up the Angel Cup icon as well, so we have that. Where is it actually? There we go, we'll stick that up. Right, let's see what we have here. So we have made an okay board. We did a big push of damage with the Shield and Sword. Obviously, Shield and Sword is absolutely incredible against exactly Cyburst. One day we will see Tom get the final. The thing is, I've won a couple of Angel Cups in the past, so, like, I'm not too worried about that. The issue is, whenever I get knocked out of Angel Cup, I'm always sat there, like, I don't feel like I misplayed, and I don't feel like my deck's balance is off. It's just, we got high rolled, what am I supposed to do? It's like, in that last game, it was like, okay, if my opponent doesn't draw exactly their one other copy of Mirror Innovator, we should be fine. And then he draws exactly the one copy of Mirror Innovator, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm dead. And also, the deck that I'm playing has so many ways to just out his board. If we're able to get out Death Doom, obviously that's the freest way, but we had Doom Metal. If we were able to just use Doom Metal's effect, again, we do just get to clear the board. But we just didn't draw well enough. We drew bad, opponent drew good, game over. That's all it was. It just feels bad when that happens, especially when you play against a meme deck. Now, again, it was a meme deck playing a good deck. Like, half the deck is good, but all of the Dark Magician stuff is complete trash. And to be fair, none of the Dark Magician stuff actually accomplished anything. Like, realistically, we died only to Innovator. All the Dark Magician stuff did absolutely nothing. Alright, let's see what we've got here. So we've tributed to summon out the Cybertech Alligator. So if this bottom player wins, then that will be the game over. That'll be 2-0. So we'll see what happens here. So basically what you said is skill issue. I mean, it's a weird one. Rush has always been in a weird spot where I feel like luck is more important than skill. I feel like the difference between top players playing good decks is unfortunately not enough to fix the variance of how you draw. Like, Essel is just always like a free win half the time, especially if you hit one of the big cards that Essel, like, that break Essel, I guess. If you hit like an Innovator or if you hit a Dragius off of Essel, a lot of the times, that's just game over. Now, that's not always going to be the case. But, like, for example, this tournament that we played just now, And then when we played in the last tournament we entered as well, we just never found any trap cards. Like we just never drew trap cards. Now, again, to make it fair, our opponent there playing the Dark Magician machine deck also didn't find any trap cards. So that makes it kind of even. But, you know, if we... I feel like there's so many ways that we win that game. There are so many more ways that we win than we lose. And we still got utterly sacked into the ground. And it just feels really bad. Okay, so we popped one of the back rows. I just dump all your money into the casino, then you'll have good luck in tourney. I mean, I am the kind of person as well, I despise gambling. I tend, even in card games, to lean towards playing decks that are consistent because I don't want to play decks that have to high roll to win. And I feel like, in a sense, Royal Rebels is that. Like, as long as I don't get high rolled, like, myself, then the deck's relatively consistent enough that you will be able to just dismantle your opponent's board, play kind of a control-y style game, and take them out. But when your opponent, like, turn one both games, slaps down a big piercer, it's like, oh, I guess I just die then, as I don't have any traps to protect me, and I haven't found any of my outs. So, like, there's nothing I can do. The game is over. And that's, I think, says more about Mirror Innovator than anything else. Okay, so we have the Gold Rush. Now, Gold Rush on its own, staring down 10 cards. This is looking a little bit yikes. This could even be decided on this turn. Realistically, Bilu could just kill here. Reduces the attack by 800. Doesn't use Ragnarok on any of his own cards? I don't know if we finished resolving it or not. We have... Oh, we're just going to summon out the maximum. Okay. So this is pretty good because we know that our machine player is not playing Tribute to the Doomed, which means he's going to need to find Innovator or Talismanic Seal Array to actually be able to clear this. Now, one plus side is we already know there are at least 2 copies of Gold Rush in the bin, which means Mirror Innovator can easily hit 38, and then we just need any other card basically to get it above that 4,000. The issue is going to be those 3 back row cards, so we'll have to see what he actually does here. Nothing. Just did not have the out. And that's obviously the issue playing against specifically your Drago, is that when you don't have anything to out it, you can't just put everything in defense mode, right? Because it's going to flip something up, and he's going to attack over it and get a ton of damage in. It's a bit of a shame that we're spectating this game, because I feel like there's probably some really cool games going on. And unfortunately, we're stuck watching Machine versus Cyberse, but it is what it is. Looks like we still haven't seen many other games end yet. Looks like Gozu has just started his game. Dwan still hasn't been able to start his. Deku unfortunately got 2-0'd by... His name looks familiar, but I couldn't tell you who it was. Shui raiding with a party of 5. Hello everyone, welcome on in. You've caught us watching and I guess sort of commentating over the Angel Cup, which is a rush tournament. Unfortunately, we did play, but we did get absolutely sacked out of the tournament in round 1, which does feel like a shame. I fell asleep. Yeah, fortunately, Sora is not playing in the tournament because Sora is a big, smelly, sleepy person that just wants to sleep instead of play rush duels. When everyone knows that rush duels should be prioritized above everything else, sleeping is always an afterthought. So, oh, turn 3 Igdrago hitting the board. To be honest, I wasn't expecting an Angel Cup today because of Worlds. Yeah, so Angry Angel, or Moki Moki, is the one that organizes the event, but actually, like, running it, well, as in, like, I guess doing the stream specifically, is handled by 8mm Apple. So Apple isn't going to World, so Apple can still do this, right? Whereas, like, Quantum does everything for his tournament, so there won't be anything from Quantum for a bit, right? So we have summoned out the big boy. Now, again, Machine aren't too... Machine don't struggle too much to out a 4,000 attack monster, but saying that, this is quite an early 4,000 attack monster. So now we're basically going to need to get Aim Eagle, which again is not too hard to do, right? But if we just have a high level monster, we can... that's why I didn't even check the server. Ah, I see. Yeah, if we have a high level monster, we can find the Aim Eagle, and then Aim Eagle just clears this. If we have Iron Onslaught, and then a high level and Mirror Innovator, this is just... Oh, we have nothing! He has actually nothing. We hadn't seen a single Innovator. Why is it the dedicated Machine player bricked 2 games in a row and couldn't find his Innovators, and yet the silly Machine Spellcaster player managed to find double Innovator every game? Where's the justice? Unfortunately, that is just how it goes. Sometimes you will find your bosses and sometimes you won't, which again is a big shame. I think it's fair to say that last game we just spectated was won on the fact that one player found all 3 specific cards of all 3 of the maximum, and the other player lost entirely because he did not find one of the 3 copies of his Mirror Innovator, which is a shame, right? That is a matchup that can be quite intricate in how it's played, but that last game 3 was entirely decided on the cards drawn. And unfortunately, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the Psyburst player just got luckier, so that is game over. We'll have to see which game gets spectated next. We've had another player. Who is this Tomato player? There's another player. Let's throw this up quick. We just come off this. There is... Oh, we're not up to date. We're not up to date. We can go back to live. We can jump into another game, maybe. No, we haven't. But if we go over to check this out, we can see that this player has won their game. And I don't know who this is. This isn't Prisoner Tomato. But it is a tomato, and that's all that matters. Look at that, it's a tomato holding bacon. We're going to try and translate this name real quick. And also our music has stopped, because of course it has. Bacon Tomato Field. Right, Bacon Tomato Field is our new, like, Japanese player that we're rooting for. Obviously, we're always going to be rooting for the Westerners. We're rooting for Dwan. We're rooting for Ursus. And Ursus has already won his game 2-0. Without much issue. Essentially 3-card Exodia situation, lol. Basically rain down. Basically exactly right. Which is, again, it's not like... It's not an awful thing, right? But it would be nice to see the 2 players get to actually play the game. There was... I guess it's the same reason I don't really like floodgates. Because when players floodgate, or when you get floodgated, typically, the player who's floodgating you gets to play the game, and you don't get to play the game. Or like, in some situations in like Magic the Gathering, you'll get things like a counterspell heavy deck in blue. And again, the counterspell player gets to play the game, you don't get to play the game. In my opinion, the best TCGs and the best games within TCGs are the games when both players get to play the game, they clash, and then we see who played the game better. Right? I always think that's going to be the most exciting kind of game to spectate. So who do we have here? We have both of these players. Is this K2? This is not K2. Who are we watching here? Who are we watching? This is... Well, Blue's already advanced. I think this is K2. Yeah, this is K2. So this is K2 Decathlon versus... Who's this image? It's not Ra, is it? Pretty sure it's not Ra. No, I don't know who this is. But this is SAR versus SAR. So we've actually found the 2 SAR players. Why is the game screen slightly elongated, Tomato? It is because, unfortunately, the streamer, because this is a restream, is playing in a weird aspect ratio. So we could stretch it out, or we could make it bigger, but then it would cut off the names, or it would look a bit weird. So unfortunately, this is just the best we get. This is just how our JP bro has decided to stream this. Why SAR Mirror? It's the match 1-1, I think. It's number 1-1. Is this number 1-1? I thought this was number 2-3. Oh no, you're right. This is number 1-1. Yes, you are absolutely correct. This is number 1-1. So this is Squid versus play someone. I don't know who this is, but it's Squid. We know Squid. Squid is the player at the bottom. Japanese streamers shake my head. I mean, it's fine. We get to spectate the tournament, and that's the important part, right? SAR Mirror, though. These are possibly the only two SAR players in the tournament, so having one of them get knocked out this early could be a bit... I mean, not necessarily a bad thing, but it would have been nice to see them kind of stick around for a bit. It looks like Ursus will probably be playing against Ra. Ra has already knocked out Zaga Zaga, which is a pretty big one. This tournament is actually running pretty quick so far, all things considered. We'll have to see how this goes. So, unfortunately, Squid is going to lose this game. I don't know if this was game 1, 2, or 3. Will we be able to find out is the question. It looks like that was probably the final game since we dropped out, which means Squid will not be advancing. Although Dwan now does get added information where he knows that he's going to be playing against SAR. I don't know if you can do anything with that information, unfortunately. Like, it's not really a deck that you'll necessarily play differently against. Either you'll go all out aggressive and try and deny them resources, but SAR doesn't necessarily need that many resources to get going anyway. Or you'll play passively and say, well, if you don't have Gazelle or you don't have Torna, you can't get at my life points. So either way, it's going to be a bit funky. So I guess we'll go back over and check out the bracket again. So again, that should be Dwan versus this lovely player. We've had Tomato Baconfield win over Kaiser. We have Decathlon versus whoever this is. We have Gozu against... This name again looks familiar, and this image is also familiar, but I could not tell you who it was. Bilu's already won his game. So we have a round 3 game going already. A quarterfinal game is already underway. Ursus is simply waiting for his opponent to finish, which I would predict to be Ra. We'll have to wait and see. Ra typically is one of those players that plays one deck again and again and again and again. Originally, he was playing Cyburst, but Ra has since swapped to Psychic. So I would expect Ra to be on Psychic, but you never really know. Just based on, you know, precedents that have already been set, I would expect Psychic. Ursus, again, I would assume... I mean, Ursus is probably in chat somewhere, but Ursus, I would assume, is probably... I mean, Ursus is a very strong machine player, but doesn't necessarily mean he's going to bring machines today. And as for a lot of these other players, it's hard to know. We know Bilu was playing the Cyburst deck, so we don't know what this is. Let's go and see if another game has been found yet. Okay, so we have jumped into another game. And this is Gozu, right? Yeah, this is Gozu. So we have Gozu at the top playing Psychic. Again, pretty expected. And his opponent is playing Blue Eyes Monarch by the looks of things. So we'll have to see how this goes. Ursus comes in with the emote. Obviously got to show the Innovator. This way you were actually playing the Spellcaster Innovator deck all along and you just played the mirror. So we do activate the effect of the Rhythmical Performer. We do mill a spell, which does get us a draw, which is very, very powerful, but it's going to depend what we actually end on here. We are going to summon out the Prima Katana. So 3700 attack is quite good, but we do have a 500 attack monster potentially stuck on the board. It looks like we are going to leave it there. It will be able to clear a monster and get 200 damage in. And our life points are 6,000, so we're probably not in a bad way just yet. But that was quite a heavy investment turn, and that draw didn't actually seem to help very much. I mean, it's potential that it did, but we've still ended with a card in our hand anyway, so... We summon out the Kyberman, activate its effect, or summon out the Blue Eyes Bright Dragon. Activate Blue Eyes Bright. We do mill the Burst Stream of Destruction, which is a pretty big mill. We're then going to summon out Siesta Terror, activate its effect, shuffle 3 cards back in, including 2 Kybermen. Flip, Why did we do this? Why would we not flip down the Prima... It probably doesn't matter. Gozu might just get a freebie here, because his opponent doesn't seem to... is not making optimal plays. Unless anyone in chat can understand why we wouldn't flip down the Prima, attack over that with a weaker monster and just get more damage in, I'm pretty sure we just made a mistake. So this is looking a little bit spooky. We are setting that monster, which means it's probably something along the lines of a Rhythmical Performer, something that's, even with the attack boost, would not be worth summoning. So we are going to attack, activate the slime that will mean, was that lethal? That was what, 24? Which means it would have been 12. Yes, so that would have been lethal damage. A little oopsie is all. I mean, we all make little oopsies, right? We all make the little oopsies. He wanted to look Prima in the face while crushing her. I mean, I think a lot of people would rather be crushed by Prima. Anyway, so we've managed to add back... Where are we going with this? Also, was that a second copy of Bright that we just saw? I wasn't even paying too much attention. We have to do a big think here. We have to try and clear this board. Ideally get as much damage in as possible. This could be tricky. The fact that we haven't just slammed down our board, because one thing I will say is, like, huge respect to the Blue Eyes players, but the Blue Eyes Monarch deck does not have too many moving pieces. There's not too much thought required. It's basically slap stuff down, start popping cards, go, go, go. So the fact that we are pausing here to think does tell us that we probably have a couple of different lines and we're trying to work out which line is the best. Like, do we want to go defensive? Is it worth just going full aggro and clearing this board? We've only got 1100 life points left, so we could just die at any point if we leave anything in attack mode, which is always going to be super scary. Plus, a lot of players have now started playing 3 copies of Jamp Up, which does again mean an easy big chunk of direct damage. Well, I say direct damage, like overflow damage. So we are going to summon out the Kyberman. We are going to summon out the Blue Eyes Bright. So this is already a little bit spooky, because now, if our opponent has access to a Jamp Up and another boss monster, the game is over if we don't have anything to protect. We are going to change the Essel to defense mode. But where do we go from here? Oh, we've already used both of our trap cards. We're activating Tribute to the Doomed. So we're discarding another card. Not a huge fan of the Svildra, whatever it's called. The Wind Dragon 1500 attacker, but we are going to set, and having a face-down monster can actually be a bit of a detriment sometimes, just because of the existence of Can Melody. So they're going to have to see what happens here. Now, there are a lot of hands that do just win goes through the game here. We're going to start with a banger. That is Tribute to the Doomed. We found the legend, and we discard the Can Melody. We are going to pop, which does tell us we don't have access to that Jamp Up, because if we did, we would have just done that combo and won the game on the spot. So, where are we going to go with this? We have 3 cards to work with. Oh no. We're getting the spiralies. Alright, this happened a few times last time. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, let's try and catch up. So we summon out Rhythmical Performer. Looks like we have already activated the effect because we've got the Soul Drake in the graveyard. So Gozu only has 7 cards left in deck. We have already discarded a boss monster, which tells me we must have something else, right? There's no reason to summon out Rhythmical. And especially because what we could have done would be summon out Rhythmical, then activate its effect, and then use Tribute to the Doomed, and then make a discard based on the information of whether or not we got an extra draw or not. Since we didn't do that, we must already have a plan for this Rhythmical, right? We have just Candy, so that means we can't have... Wait, why are we... Okay, we're putting this back in the hand. That'll get rid of the back row. We still can't win, though. We have to just get lucky off this mill, which we don't. So now that's only 500 damage in, and now the Blue Eyes player has found himself in a very interesting position. 500 attack on the board. Now, getting... It's not an easy win, like just straight up win. But if we are able to find a Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Bright and a TSA, that is now threatening lethal damage. Looks like we're immediately throwing something down. Here it goes, Soul Drake. So that is going to be easy access to a 3000 attack monster. We're choosing to not use it, though. We are going to take a look at this back row. And it is a slime. That is actually huge. That might just win Gozu the game. Now, Gozu does only have 6 cards left in deck right now. So, it still could just not go his way. We are going to activate the effect of Kyberman. So this is going to bring out a Blue Eyes or a Blue Eyes Bright. This is the actual Blue Eyes White Dragon. But only 1 card left. I don't think it matters what this card is. And we're already in the battle phase. So we're just going to go and try and clear. This doesn't actually have to force out the back row. And if we do use the slime, we'll be drawing every single card in our deck for the next turn. I think in this situation, you have to weigh the difference between having the life points to activate different Psychic Monsters' effects versus milling potentially the most important card in your deck. We did mill a spell card. I didn't quite catch what it was. Oh. That was Jamp Start, which again would have been so good because that would have put cards back in the deck. Now, what are these last 5 cards? We have got 27, so if we have a Prima and we can get the Prima out, this is just lethal. We have the life points to pay, and it will be enough to end the game. So we need to have exactly Prima Katana. Prima Katana is... There it is. We just didn't have it. We just did not have a hand worthy or a hand powerful enough to end the game. I'm very curious as to what he actually had left. So we can go under the assumption he didn't have Jamp Up. He potentially could have still had a Prima in deck because we did have the Candy. We didn't activate the effect. Now, if we had Jamp Up, we always search it, and that would have been lethal on that turn anyway. But at the very least, you can set a Jamp Up. If we had searched Prima, that potentially gets stuck in our hand. So we're going to have to see how this goes. It looks like, if we go back to the brackets real quick, obviously I'm not going to put them on screen, but it looks like Duan is currently playing his game. We have Gozu and his opponent who we're watching right now. Their next opponent has already finished. Unfortunately, Decathlon did lose 2-0. The Bilu game is still going on, and it looks like Ursus is also now playing his game, and his opponent managed to 2-0 Ra, which is quite an accomplishment. Ra has been quite a dominant player in the Japanese scene, so it looks like Ursus might have a tough one coming, or Ra could have just got very unlucky. We'll have to wait and see. So we're going to set 3. Looks like Gozu is going to open with the Mythical Performer. We're going to activate the effect. We do not mill a spell trap, so we're not going to get that extra draw. Now, that Essa was probably something he would have liked to see in his hand, but he might have another copy already. We'll have to wait and see. Be interesting to see what we actually have here. So Gozu has committed to summoning this in attack mode. That tells me he's probably planning to tribute it off. Okay, and here's Melody. Now, Melody is going to be pretty good here. If we have just like 2 1500 attackers, this could be really good because that means we can get 2400 damage in. But worst case scenario, we still just get rid of a card, which is always going to be really good. So that we know we're going to get that 1500 back out and a back row. So not going to get any damage in, but this should clear. So we are just taking resources away. And Blue Eyes is another one of those decks that can really struggle to maintain resources. So taking away as many of them as possible is always going to be really, really strong. If Blue Eyes gets going, if they're able to like amass a bunch of cards, they're able to have like a 10 card turn, for example. If you set 5, your opponent doesn't do anything because they also set 5. And then you get that like 10 card turn. That's when Blue Eyes can start to snowball and get a bit out of control because they'll start ripping apart your resources and they'll basically go into your turn with their already set up board and you'll have just 5 cards off the top to try and deal with it. So by denying them their resources, it can be a really good way to just stop them from being able to win the game. We are going to summon out the mini Wilhel and we are going to pop the Jamp up. And this is just the Monarch showing just how strong they can be. Being able to get just a free +1 or a free -1 to your opponent is always going to be really, really strong. Unfortunately, Mega Wilhel, not ideal here. If we have a second Mega Wilhel, we can maybe do something with that. Oh, but we have the Kyberman, which is actually huge. So that means we get to keep 2 boss monsters, which is not the greatest board in the world, right? We'd rather have some back row as well. But we get to clear every card our opponent has and then also get him for 24 and then say, okay, you also have to now out a 24 and a 25 to get at me. Now, again, that's not impossible for Psychics. We've seen time and time again that Psychic is capable of breaking pretty much any board. But how likely is it going to be that we've drawn into a hand that can easily out this? Now, we could, for example, have drawn into a Prima or a Candy that can get us to a Prima, which is pretty good, but... oh, that's not what we want to see. But yeah, if we do use Prima to out this, it would cost us 1,000 life points, and we're already down to 3k. Do we really want to go into our opponent's turn on 2,000 life points and attack position monsters on the field? That's very scary. Now again, we do have 3 back row, so if we've drawn very good back row, we might just be fine here. So our opponent is going to summon out the Wilhel. Mini Wilhel is going to take a peek. We are going to find a second Jamp up. Now, I don't know if Gozu plays 2 or 3. I think Gozu is one of the players that's been leaning towards playing 3 of this card. So we probably have 1 left in the deck. We're going to activate Wilhel again. We are going to find the Legend Trap, which means if we do have Particle Acceleration or Dragon's Inferno, we do have a Dragon's Inferno, or Gunfire. Is it Inferno? I'm pretty sure it's Inferno. I always get confused between the Japanese and English names. We are going to be able to pop that Legend Trap that we did find, which is very, very powerful. Then we're going to activate Burst Stream of Destruction. Okay, since we have another attack, I guess this is fine. This basically confirms, because there's a delay, that that last back row is going to be Slime. So we have to use this at some point. There's no reason to use it now, because we have to be under 3,000 life points. It's not 3,000 or below, so... I guess it was a misplay on our Blue Eyes player's part. He could have declared an attack with the Mini Wilhel first, and just gotten 900 more damage in. Realistically, it probably doesn't make a huge difference, but Psychic is a deck that does use life points as a resource, and this might be the difference between having a Prima Katana activation and not. We'll have to wait and see. So we're going to search the Jamp Up. That is the 3rd copy. We're activating the Jamp Up, so it looks like that misplay might actually cost us very dearly, because we are almost certainly going to summon out Prima Katana. There it is. Which means now we can use the effect if we want to. The question is, do we want to go down to 900 life points? Is it even worth it? We could gain 900 attack, putting us up to 46, and then we could attack over for 35, but finding an extra 2,500 damage is going to be next to impossible. This is very tricky. I feel like, potentially... it might have even been better to just set 3 into this board. It depends. Monarchs in general, and Blue Eyes Monarchs, don't do very well into set 3 pass. Like, 3 monsters can oftentimes be too much for them to deal with, especially now that Burst Stream of Destruction is already in the bin. Our opponent would basically have to find Tribute to the Doomed, which I don't believe they've used yet. Now, speaking of Tribute to the Doomed, or they would have to use the Mega Wilhel, and our opponent to just not have any spell traps to basically take the hit instead. So we are going to not pay the 1,000 life points, but we will be able to attack over our opponent's 2 bosses. Now, Soul Drake's effect, I believe, is only on the turn it is summoned. So this Soul Drake, I'm pretty sure, can't bring back a Blue Eyes. But if we have a second Soul Drake, we will still be able to do so. We're going to activate Rhythmical Performer. We will mill the Melody, not a Spell Trap, so we're not going to get a draw. Now, Blue Eyes is very much like Machine in that, again, they're very resource-starved. So using the Rhythmical Performer and getting a plus is absolutely huge for both of these decks. We are going to Tribute 2 and just summon out the Blue Eyes. This is 800 damage on the board. We set 2 back row, 3 back row. We will be able to clear over this, get that 800 damage in, but again, we have not gotten our opponent to 1,000 or less, which does mean that Prima Katana's activation is still going to be on the table. We'll have to see what he does. So what is Gozu going to draw here? What is Gozu going to draw? Again, we haven't really been seeing any Jamp checks out of Gozu. I'm actually starting to wonder if he even plays them. I don't think we saw any in the last game, and we haven't seen any this game. Set a monster in defense. Set another monster in defense. And it looks like we are going to go for a defensive lineup. It's probably a mixture of 2 things. 1, we don't have a way to out this. And 2, we probably are lacking... oh, there's the Jamp check we were just talking about. We're probably lacking a good way. Oh, we were also talking about this. That could be pretty huge. We've managed to pop a monster. If we just summon 3 guys now, the game might just be over. So here's a second guy. Oh, Gozu scoops without even seeing. There was a chance, a very slim chance, mind. So I don't like fault the scoop at all. There was a slim chance that our opponent there didn't have another normal and was just basically hoping that Gozu would scoop. Also, thank you for the follow, Annie Baba. Welcome to the stream. So we'll be going into another game now, it looks like. So I don't know who we're actually going to be spectating here. We have a couple of games that are currently ongoing. We still have the Ursus game going on. We have the Bilu game going on. We have the winner of that game, so the Blue Eyes Monarch player still playing. Dwan's game is also still going. So basically we now have 3 quarterfinal games going on and 1 top 16 still going on. It'll be interesting to see which one we actually end up spectating. Obviously, you know, I would rather watch Ursus and Dwan. That's what I want to watch. Whether or not we actually get to watch those is entirely at Apple's whim, but we'll find out. We'll find out. We got Tomato Bacon, who is just waiting for Dwan's game to end. We still don't know what Dwan's playing, actually. We know that Dwan's opponent was playing the SAR. That's all we know about that game. We know that one of the games has the Blue Eyes in it. Bilu was playing... What was Bilu playing? Bilu was playing Cybus. We don't know what his opponent is on. Oh, looks like we're going to go watch Ursus. And looks like Ursus is up a game. So let's support our boy Ursus. And it looks like Ursus's opponent is probably playing Royal Rebels. Now, it's not confirmed, but it's likely to be Royal Rebels. And Ursus himself is probably on machines. So let's find out. So the Royal Rebel player will be going first. Let's hope they drew better than we did. Okay, that is actually identical to our turn 1 play of game 1. So I guess he hasn't drawn better than we did. We're going to summon out Bicorn, summon out the Aim Eagle. Aim Eagle is going to get to cheekily activate its effect and gain the extra 1000 attack because our opponent bricked and thus had to just slap out a level 8 monster, which is not ideal. We're then going to activate the effective Mirror Innovator to go up to 3600 attack and piercing and attack over for free over that 0 defense monster, which is pretty good for Ursus. We are going to summon out another... Ooh, so that's going to be 2 5s. Where are we going with this? This has got to be heavy metal. We were just activating the buyer just to put a card back into the deck. We can then pop. We can declare an attack. We can't declare a direct attack, though. So we can activate the shield and sword. This could just be over. There's one back row that could potentially save us. That's going to be the one closest to the deck. If that is nothing, then Ursus is going to take this 2-0. Oh, so we didn't get to see if there was a delay on that one, but I guess there was a delay last time. So Ursus is still in a fantastic position. Machine is one of the better decks to actually take down the... Not Cybers, the Royal Rebel deck. The reason being that a lot of the Royal Rebel cards are very low defense, and machines can quite happily play with just one face-up monster, so it's a lot more difficult to just blow out a machine player with something like a Doom Metal. Now, the only way that this really works is if you are able to sit on Mirror Innovator, because you need Mirror Innovator to be able to beat set 3 pass. But Mirror Innovator is basically the only card in the game that gets to consistently do that. And speak of the devil, here he is. So Mirror Innovator is going to be able to shuffle a card back into the deck, gain that piercing, attack over. It was a 1500 defender, which is going to keep the Royal Rebel player in the game. But this is looking kind of scary. Now the Royal Rebel player is forced to react to this. You cannot leave this Innovator on the field, so we're going to have to summon something, whether or not that's a Doom Metal, whether or not that is a Heavy Metal. The best play we could probably see is like Heavy Metal plus Pierce. But I think a lot of people have started falling off of using Pierce in Royal Rebels, just because Pierce is less good, I feel, against Psychic and Royal Rebels. Any other deck that can just play the waiting game alongside you and wait to try and OTK you is going to... You're going to have a worse time with Pierce than if you were to play Stop Defense, because, again, if you want to get your opponent's life points, you've got to flip their guys up. So we are going to activate the monster reincarnation. We're going to discard a 1500 attacker, and we're going to take back the heavy metal. We're going to flip up the buyer, activate buyer, put a card back into deck, raise its level. Then we can distribute both the monsters we have on field if we want to. That will immediately deal with the Mirror Innovator problem. The issue is we only have 800 life points left, so now everything is kind of scary. Okay, who's coming out? It's probably going to be the heavy metal we added. It is. We're going to pop, gain that attack, but we are going to set the other two cards. So again, we're denying resources, but that's about it. We're not getting any damage in, and I feel like how are we playing to win at this point? I feel like the Royal Rebel player is playing to not lose rather than playing to win. We have to get damage in at some point. Are we going to wait until we have, like, some sort of double stop defense? There is another Mirror Innovator. We cannot stop finding Mirror Innovator. So this will threaten lethal. Our opponent now needs to have the Widespread Ruin to save themselves, and they do not have it. So Ninjetti Ursus is going to take this 2-0. Very well deserved. Just kept finding the Mirror Innovator again and again and again, and the Royal Rebel player just could not keep up. I would say this matchup is probably about 55-45 towards the Machine player. Machines is very unique in the fact that they can play around only having one face-up monster that a lot of other decks just physically cannot do. The only other deck that could do that in the past was Noodles, and now Noodles being a lot weaker than they were, it's not as easy to do. So it looks like Bilu has won his game 2-0, so we will be going Bilu versus Ursus pretty much straight away. And then the other games we still have, Dwan's game is still not finished. What is going on in the Dwan game? I'm very curious, especially since one of those decks we know to be Seven's Exile Road. And that deck is typically one that finishes games quite quickly, so we'll have to see what happens here. So for our top 8 decks, that means we already know some of them. Unfortunately, we might just never find out what one of these decks is. I guess what we want to do now is spectate the Blue Eyes Monarch player, because that will give us another deck list for the thingy, so for the spreadsheet. Okay guys, I'm here now, stop panicking. Hello Manicist, welcome on in. You just missed watching Ursus take another win and advance to the semi-finals. Did Tomato scrub out round 1? Yes, we 100% scrubbed out round 1. We got absolutely sacked. But we're going to take a look at the bracket real quick. So this was us in round 1. We got Essel Mirror Innovated on turn in the first game. Game 2, we had like turn 3, turn 5 lethal, something like that. And then game 4 was we had no way to activate any of our Royal Rebel effects to get out our boss monsters with using a high level. So we just had to like set and pass. And then we were like, well, as long as our opponent doesn't top deck his last Mirror Innovator, we win. And then he top decked his last Mirror Innovator. And then Ursus swiftly 2-0'd them. And then Ursus swiftly 2-0'd his next opponent. And now he's going to be playing against Bilu. And we know that Bilu was playing Cyburst. So that's Cyburst versus Machines in semi-final. How exciting. And then here we have, this was Blue Eyes Monarch versus Unknown. And then Dwan has just won his game. We still don't know what Dwan's playing either. So we will have to wait and see. We'll have to see which game gets spectated next. But this tournament is definitely more interesting from a Westerner's perspective compared to last time, because all of the Westerners got knocked out super early last week. So now that we still have one in the quarters and one in the semis, it's at least better for us going in this time, I guess. So which game are we going to jump into is the question. I really want to watch 2 of these games, and it's going to be a shame when we don't get to watch one of them. I want to watch 3-1 or 3-2. 3-1 is the Dwan game, and 3-2 is the Blue Eyes Monarch game. We're really... Alright, don't get me wrong. I love watching Ursus play. But I already know both of these decks. and this is a really boring matchup. So, like, I feel like there were 3 options, and there was only one wrong option, and we have picked the only bad option. Well, at the very least, we get to cheer on Ursus for a bit more. So Ursus versus Bilu, Machines versus Cyburst, a matchup again that we already did spectate. So unfortunately, we're just watching the old matchup again. Okay, so we are having the Cyburst player start us off. Summoning out our dog, activating our skill immediately, putting a card back. We can assume we're going to be tributing. And out comes everyone's favourite, Atrashoot, Hydron. Set a couple of cards, and pass back to Ursus. The fact we're already in the semi-finals, and it's only been an hour since the tournament started, is really big. Not going to lie, now the meta is a bit more diverse, I'm enjoying Machine a bit more now. It's one of those things. I don't think Machine's ever been a bad deck. I don't think Machine's ever been a boring deck, like to play. I think Machine has always been quite a fun deck. I think Mirror Innovator is actually quite a fun card. The issue is just when you've been watching tournament games and you've seen this card now for what? This is month 4 of Mirror Innovator being like one of the best decks. That's when it's just like, could we see something else, right? Just anything else. Especially when it's matched up against something that is also just as much of an eyesore, right? It's literally Machine versus Cyburst, the 2 best decks for like 4 months. It's like, can we please just see something else, anything else? Now, we do know that Ursus, I believe, is on the Shield and Sword. So, we could potentially see a big blowout here. Now, the one downside is, this board that Bilu has made is very, very tough. And Ursus is only going to have 6 cards to work with to try and break this board, which is not ideal. Beating 3 high-level monsters and 2 back row, or we've just milled the Mirror Innovator, but we have dealt with both of the back row, and we managed to get a pop on the negate attack, which is actually huge. That also means that this confirms that the Cyburst player is only playing 1 Atrashoot Hydron, which does seem to be becoming a bit more of the norm now. But we are seeing more and more people playing the negate attack alongside the single copy of Atrashoot. So SL Mills too. I mean, we've got the graveyard set up quite nicely, but where do we go from here? We really need to have access to... Okay, so we reveal the Gold Rush. This will let us put a card back. We grab out the Aim Eagle. This tells me we want to probably make double boss. Summon out Aim Eagle, activate Aim Eagle, send both. So we could just get out the Gold Rush here with plus 1000 attack. We are going to do so. This is a little bit tricky. Oh, wait. What is in our hand that Ursus decided to keep it? Because we shuffled back a monster from the field back into the deck instead of potentially another high level. So this could be we want to keep a follow-up boss monster for the next turn. That could be something like a Mirror Innovator, and we just didn't feel like it was worth summoning it. But this is kind of spooky, because that means we now have a gap in our field. We're going to get reduced by 800, then we're going to get reduced by a further, what, 18? So this is going to go down to 0 attack, I believe. Then that would be effectively 2 direct attacks in. Now, those 2 direct attacks are going to be probably about 2300 each. Ooh. Okay. So we are just emptying the hand. 3 back row now as well is super spooky. This is also going to refill our deck. The question is, do we have enough cards in our graveyard to actually refill? We need to have 2 more Cyburst monsters, and then we can get him down to 0. We are going to have that, so we are going to get basically 2 direct attacks in, which is going to deal 4,600 damage, which is... Ooh, we're not too happy about that, and this is still a really hard board to break. Only 1,400 life points remaining. set a back row, set another back row, set a third back, 3 back row bars. So we have a boss monster in hand that we knew from last turn. So what was the other card we drew? It could be another spell trap, or it could be another boss. Oh, and we're sniping the good back row. Oh, that was so unfortunate. Again, it's one of those situations where the only potential misplay, and I think it's even debatable whether it was or not, was not putting back that last card in hand back into deck and having a third monster on the field. Other than that, like that last turn of draws was entirely just bad luck. There was nothing Ursus could have done about that. Okay, let's see what happens in game 2. Let's go and take another look at the brackets as well and see if any of the other games have ended. It doesn't look like they have. The other 2 games... Oh, one of them has just ended. Oh, that's actually quite good for us. The Blue Eyes Monarch player got defeated, which means we will get to see every other deck. There's only one deck then that we won't have on the spreadsheet, which is quite nice. So we are going to activate. So we have a boss monster we want to summon. I do wonder if this is even worth it. Unless we had 2 boss monsters in hand and we put one back and then we summon this out. I almost would have rather just... Oh, but we would have only had 1 monster on the field anyway. So like 1 set doesn't make a huge difference over having a 25. And the 25 might be unoutable. So we're summoning out the Rhythmical. Rhythmical does mill a Chaos Femtron. That's pretty big. Chaos Femtron is just such a powerful card. So we do add the Aim Eagle. Where do we go from here? So many potential plays here. Now, Rhythmical Performer is not a light monster. So if we do want to use the Aim Eagle, we can't use Rhythmical Performer. Ideally, we want to get Rhythmical Performer off the board because we don't want to leave a 500 attack monster on the field. We're going to summon out Bicorn. Bicorn is completely useless right now. We are going to use the Aim Eagle and send that, which means we are probably going to just leave a 500 attack monster on the field, which is not ideal. But getting that 1000 attack we clearly do value a lot more. I think Chaos Fem and Hydron should swap places on the ban list. Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think that'd be fine. Ooh, negate attack here is pretty big. That means we will get to keep the Attribute Hydron around, and we know that's the only Attribute Hydron. So we have drawn both of our Limit 2 cards in the open. We're going to activate the Reset Runner, mill 1 card. Summon out our dog, set a back row, activate the skill. Now, we could obviously use the skill just to pick apart the board, but we could also use it to, again, weaken one of our monsters and tribute over. It looks like we do have another boss monster in hand. We will be tributing it to summon out Perceptical Money. This is one of the things that I think makes some of these skills really, really strong, is that, like, just having a skill that gets your boss monsters out cheaper. Now, you could make the argument it's not actually cheaper, because you'd have to summon out double boss to get actual value off of it. But it's still really good when, instead of doing that, you can just weaken 2 of your opponent's monsters by 1600 total, which is just so, so powerful. So we get in, we clear the whole board down to 2000 life points. This is still a really difficult board for Ursus to break. We're going to need to draw very, very well to be able to actually out this. Now, Psyburst does have a pretty big weakness that's shared by a lot of decks in that it's not easily able to deal with set 3 pass. We basically need the maximum, or we're going to need to find our Tribute to the Doomed, assuming we're on Tribute to the Doomed, which I assume we would be. Right, what has our Psyburst player drawn? And our Psyburst player, again, has 10 cards accessible to try and rip apart this board. And here comes the first one. Going to be Particle Acceleration, which will let us pop one of the back row. We are going to pop Slime, which is so, so important. It might not have mattered right now, but it is going to be super important in the future. If our opponent does actually have Tribute to the Doomed, that could have just won in the game. Now, we have to end with 5 cards in hand, which does mean that our Psyburst player has opened or has drawn into 5 monsters and just cannot put anything on the field. They must be 5 low-level monsters in hand. Otherwise, you would have done something, right? I suppose there is an argument to not set any spell cards, but if we had trap cards, we'd probably set them just in case we can use them. And then if we had a trap card, we'd probably set more spells as well to be fodder for back row hate. We are going to mill using Essel. Put a couple of bosses in the grave. Summon out the Aim Eagle. This is probably time. Well, there is a legend spell, so we're not actually playing Tribute to the Doomed. But this is probably time for Innovator. I would expect this to be Innovator time. There he is. There's the boy. The issue being, Innovator himself doesn't... Oh, double Innovator? No way. No way we just drew into, like, the best possible cards for this situation. If this is double Innovator, this is actually huge. Because our opponent, we know, has 5 weak monsters in hand, which means he now has to draw into outs for these. So this is actually insanely good. How much damage could we get in off of this? This would be 38 plus whatever this is. 40, 51 we could potentially get. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to threaten lethal, so we will probably just clear both the boss monsters. I think personally, I always kill Shoot here because we know our opponent has 5. Presumably, you know, we should be able to infer our opponent has 5 low-level monsters in hand. I just want the Emperor minion, man. I don't think we're going to see that for a while is the only thing. Like, I don't expect us to see much Monarch support for a while. I think it was one of those, here you go. So that back row has to be Slime. Otherwise, we're just dead. So knowing that, Ursus just needs any back row hate to win the game. We don't even have to use the second one. I can't think of a single back row that would matter here other than Slime. Because we've already used our negate attack. We used it very early. Gonna set. Do we have any back row of our own? We'll go straight to battle, and that is going to be it. That is going to be a quick win. Now, I believe we're at 1-all? Or was that 2-1? I suppose we'll find out very quickly. When we get space, Yggdrago probably. So Chaos Femtron is technically Space Yggdrago support, and we got that early. So, like, there's a chance, right? There's always a chance. What gives box chips? I mean, just a bunch of stuff. All the events currently give box chips. So if you just play in the events, you'll just get box chips. It's one of those things where you'll just naturally accumulate box chips if you just play the game. If you're doing the events, which a lot of the time is very passive. If you're, you know, dueling at the gate and beating the 2 characters that are currently unlockable, you'll get box chips for doing that. Obviously not for actually dueling at the gate, but for getting points from dueling at the gate, which go towards the event, and the event gives you box chips. So Ursus has opened with 3 set cards, and this is very unfortunate. This tells me Ursus probably has 2 boss monsters in hand. Now, having 1 boss monster in hand is fine. We want to keep 1 for next turn anyway. If it's 2 boss monsters, that's kind of yikes. Now, again, we can fix the hand up a little bit by using the skill. We'll have to see what happens there. Hi, Tomato. Hello, Duke. And also, I didn't say hello to everyone else. Hello, Barox, and hello, Cubic Stonks. No doubt, one of Quantum's minions. Gotta be with a name like that. Okay, so we are going to summon out a mediocre board. As is, Ursus could very easily break this board and then just completely take momentum in this game. It depends what we've got in hand. If we assume we had 2 boss monsters, those 3 cards, we just need to hope aren't massive bricks. Because we can fix one of the boss monsters out of the hand anyway. I'm currently playing UA because they appear to work a bit similar to Gladiator Beasts, swapping in and out. I would say UA is a lot more complicated than Gladiator Beasts. UA, well, I guess FA is like the really complicated one. UA is a really cool deck, but for the most part ends up being kind of a OTK-ish deck that also can set up like a negate. So we're going to put 2 cards. We're going to use the Aim Eagle effect here. And we did manage to pop the slime, which could be big in the long run. Here comes Innovator. And we have Bicorn! So that boss monster in our hand would have been an Innovator and probably whatever this other card is. Which is actually huge. So we're going to tribute that, summon out Gold Rush. Okay, Gold Rush is not as impactful, but it's still important, right? Just having a 2500 guy can make it frustrating for your opponent to deal with. Having 2 boss monsters, although not unbreakable, our opponent at least has to draw into stuff that can deal with this, right? If our opponent doesn't find boss monsters of their own, they're not going to be able to out either of these guys. Because we can reduce them by 800, but 800 down on either of these guys, we're not going to get them to 1500 or lower. Any good news? Not really. A lot of the Worlds players have started heading out to Worlds. That's like the exciting part, I suppose. Ooh, Chaos Femtron. Now, Chaos Femtron is just absolutely insane. Wait, we didn't use Chaos Femtron's effect? Why did we not use Chaos Femtron's effect the plus? I don't know why we wouldn't use it. Unless is Chaos Femtron only affect monsters? No way. I'd have to look it up. I feel like we should have used Chaos Femtron though. Oh, we should have used it to get a card back. 3-stream streak from Duke. My man. Right, I'm looking up Chaos Femtron as we speak. I need to find the exact wording on this card. The fact we've also milled that negate attack is huge. Cyberburst type monster. Oh, 0 defense. Okay, so we probably just milled monsters that had 100 defense. That's all it is. Okay. So we put a card back. What are we targeting? Fuck your streak. Manicus, man, you gotta fix your account. You gotta contact Jeff Bezos. Let him know that it's not working. So we're summoning double? Wait, what? What? What are we doing here? That was just... Everything about that turn was just wrong, wasn't it? We didn't reduce the monster we attacked over, so we got less damage in. We clicked on our own guy, so we got weakened. We also could have tributed the Chaos Femtron, so that we didn't have any other attack position monsters on the field. Because if we're going to have 1 defense position monsters, having 2 defense position monsters makes no difference unless your opponent literally double summons 2 Innovators. I feel like Bilu just really badly misplayed, and hopefully that doesn't cost the game for him, but at the same time, we're kind of rooting for Ursus here anyway. Hello, Bakura. Welcome on in. You've caught us watching a Rush tournament. Is that Icy Gamers as well? Hello, Icy. We'll give the exclamation mark Icy shout out. So Ursus has been basically given like a free go here, right? We have a free chance to just clap this board and get a ton of damage in. Hello, Islife. Welcome on in. Because skill can do either field, I feel like he misclicked. It's a shame. The thing is, I think you still don't leave the Chaos Femtron face up. Maybe you didn't have a choice. I'm trying to think what the exact board state was. Well, 2200 life points is exactly where Ursus wants him, because now we know that our opponent, I believe, has milled... I think we popped the slime, and we milled the negate attack. So if we just find a piercing attack with a Mirror Innovator, the game should just be over. And the chances of the Cyberburst player being able to kill from this position is very, very low. He has no streak. Yeah, Pro Manicus is just jealous. I wouldn't be worried about it, Duke. How Tawny going? The Tawny is going very, very good. Tomato's still in. No, Tomato is definitely not still in. Tomato got utterly sacked. Activate the skill. So put the card back. Okay. It is kind of spooky because if we can get an Aim Eagle playoff and we can reduce or we can get out even just a Gold Rush. That's going to be 2,000 damage over this dog. So that'll leave our opponent on only 200 life points. We're denying resources, which is smart, but is still very scary. Alright, what has Ursus drawn for turn? Normal summon Crafter Drone. Activate the effect. Getting rid of the 1500 beta. Activate the skill. Now we're going to reveal the card we just drew. We're not revealing the card we just drew. So we potentially have 2,000 damage here. If we have any other boss monster, we should just win. We need a light monster to summon. We need the Aim Eagle that we know is in our hand. Then we need any other boss. Okay. Well, there's a light monster, but it's not quite what we were after. Summon out the Aim Eagle. Use the effect. Send them both to grave. So if this is anything other than the alligator, we just win the game. No, it's alligator. Okay, so we can get 2,000 damage in, or we can clear the 2,000 attack monster. Now, this is all going to come down to what the back row is that Ursus has. Because if Bilu draws well, he could just clap here. Depending on what that back row is. If that back row is good, then Ursus should be in a very fantastic position to just win this game. Chaos Femtron, mill 3. Only 6 cards left in deck. It's really funny how this tournament seems to have gone very, very quickly until we hit top 4, and now it's just slowed all the way down. I'm not a big fan of, what is that card's even name? The other Cyburst boss. Sigistate Soul, I believe it's called. I'm not a big fan of a card that just burns. It's basically a 2500 vanilla that like does a little bit of burn, and the burn doesn't usually matter. Soul. Yes. Where are we going with this? We're going to weaken one of each. So that tells us we're not going to be summoning out another boss monster. So we're just going to play to just win this turn. That is what Bilu is thinking. We're just... Our trap cards are ass. We have to get damage in where we can. We have to just try and push for a win this turn. Back row. Why? Okay, this makes sense. Okay, burn for 3. Activate that effect to do another reduce. So how much damage have we got on board? We have 48, 58, 63, minus currently 27. So we have lethal damage. Ugh, bot. Get out of here, you. You guys unlocked the new character yet? Oh, of course we've unlocked the new character. Yes, I've unlocked the free gem generators. Is anyone actually interested in playing Wind Witch or Lyrilusk, by the way? Because I am tempted. Well, I really don't like Lyrilusk. I think mechanically they seem kind of lame. And aesthetically, they seem awful. So, like, I like the idea of Wing Beasts. I like the idea of level 1s. I like the idea of an Xyz deck. I don't like the idea of, like, reverse burn and direct attacks. And I'm not a big fan of the artwork on the cards. Me, I'll play both on my speed account. I'm probably going to play both, because I'm going to go into the box on my speed account anyway for the Dogmatica, Albaz. I want to play the Magispector stuff a bit, even though it's probably going to be very good. I'm probably also going to play the Gaia stuff a bit. But I'm not... I think Wind Witch is going to be more exciting for me. Wind Witch seemed fun. Yeah, Wind Witch... So as I'm a big Arc V guy. I really like Arc V. But I will say neither of those two specifically, none of their decks really appeal to me. And that is going to be a 2-1 victory, I believe, for Ursus. Oh no, Dwan lost! Dwan, what happened? I was really hoping we were going to see Dwan in the semi-finals. Like, Dwan Ursus final would have been so good. Well, there's only going to be 2 games left, so we'll go and spectate the last semi-final game that I believe has only just started. It's really awkward because I feel like Dwan is one of the better Rush players in general. I think Dwan is probably, arguably, one of the best players not at Worlds, right? If not the best player not at Worlds. Like, Dwan is just so good at the game. I could have played better, that's what happened. Ah, that's a shame. What were you playing, by the way, Dwan? I need to know for the spreadsheet. Oh boy, did I play bad. I did notice, like, 1 or 2 things, Ursus, that I was a bit like, that... I wouldn't have done that. But, like, at the same time, I'm not prideful enough, I suppose, or big-headed enough to be like, just because I would have done something different, that doesn't necessarily mean that was the correct play, right? Playing Cyburst. I see. So we're seeing a lot of the older decks in this event then. We're not seeing much in the way of Psychic. We're not seeing much... I mean, what's our top 4 then? Our top 4 was Psychic... Not Psychic. It was Machine, Cyburst, and then whatever Tomato was on that beat Dwan, whatever they're playing. Which I'm going to assume is going to be Blue Eyes Monarch, based on the fact it's an archive skill. He's also a speed goat. I mean, alright, we don't need to big up Dwan as the speed goat. We already know that Dwan is, like, absolutely incredible on speed. He is the Dark Fluid guy. I feel like everyone else, like, on the top player council is like, yeah, Dark Fluid's like a tier 3 deck. And Dwan's like, hold my beer. Rush also comes with the stipulation that your skill can be mitigated by the inherent luck factors Rush provides. Yes, I will say, I do feel like there is a lot more luck involved in Rush, which is why you kind of have 2 ways you can take Rush. Like, when you approach it, you either go for the, I'm going to play a deck that has a really, really high ceiling that can pop off more often than it won't and try and win that way, and that's kind of the Psychic approach. Or you go for consistency. You go, I'm going to play the deck that's going to brick the least, that's going to have more consistent access to its boss monsters more often, it's going to consistently beat set 3 pass, and I think that's where we start to see your Cybursts, your Machines. I want to say Aqua, but Aqua has a lot of problems, but it's still a good deck. But I do feel like it is noticeably worse than Cyburst and Machines. So double Chaos Femtron has come down. We are going to use our skill. I'm going to reduce the attack of 2 monsters, so we contribute our Chaos Femtron for 1 boss. What we can do with the last 2 cards in the hand is the interesting thing. Citrustate Soul is back again. So this is something I've seen a lot from the JP players. JP players, I believe, have basically stopped playing Widespread in Cyburst. They are basically all now playing like the one of Citrustate Soul to replace the Attroshoot Hydron, and are just playing the Negate attack now. Again, Cyburst, I've never really been a fan of Cyburst. Like, as a deck, it's never interested me. I've never been super into it, so, like, I haven't kept up to date with it as much, I suppose. But I play against it enough, I can tell you that much. We're going to activate Particle Acceleration, pop one of the back row. Are we going to hit a good one? We hit a Particle Acceleration. That's kind of net neutral. It's not great. It's also protects our own back row. So if we set like 3 back row now, we're going to feel pretty good about that. We're going to activate the Zeus. So we're going to put back Zeus and Essel into the deck. And then we can grab back one of our Monarchs. We're going to set Particle Acceleration from our opponent's graveyard. Then we're going to grab back probably Mini Wilhel. Tribute over, I would assume, the Performer. Alright, we are going to mute and turn the camera off briefly, because I need to blow my nose, and I'm pretty sure everyone doesn't want to see and hear that. Hello, we're back. So, we have 2 mini Wilhells and 1 mega Wilhell. We actually can't outsoul... What? Okay, so it's an interesting choice. The question is, what does that actually do? Like, you can protect yourself from getting killed by Mirror Innovator by changing an attack on a low defense to an attack monster. You can stop Magnum Overlord, which is obviously the big one. You can stop Yggdrago, so in the mirror, that's going to be pretty good. What does it realistically do against, like, a Blue Eyes player? What does it realistically do against a Psychic player? It's a weird one. It's a weird one. I don't know if Earthbound is worth it in this deck specifically. It's definitely an interesting tech, that's for sure. And it's definitely a very good card. But I feel like it's going to come up less often and be useful. I don't know. It's a weird one. Like, here we were able to use it as a Sakuretsu armor, right? So it's really good. Vanilla Femtron? What a weird list. I mean, you would only play Vanilla Femtron if you've got, like... thingy, right? If you've got, God, what is it called? The one that you send to the graveyard and draw a card. Atron? Is it Atron? Yoctron's the one that needs both of them, right? And then Crash Bandicoot comes in just to spice up the game a little bit. Atron. Yes, thank you, Sora. Right, we're going to activate. Ooh, that's a big mill. And also our deck. Wait, is this a 40 card deck? This is a 40 card deck. What is this list? Our man is playing 40 card Cyburst. This entire time we've been... I also want to say, this Cyburst list, this 40 card Cyburst, has gone 2-0 in every game. It has 2-0'd every single opponent it's gone against. UO our plot. That's gone over my head. New meta build. I mean, it's hard to gauge from one tournament, but if this makes it all the way to finals and doesn't even drop a single game, that tells us quite a lot. The Yuga build. Unfortunately, we can't have 60 cards in Duel Links, which is a bit of a shame. It would be nice if we could, like, break the game, even if it was just, like, in duel rooms and stuff. The Lizard Yuga. I mean, the Lizard Yuga, that's an interesting way to put it. Obviously, he plays a reptile deck, but he's not exactly like a lizard person. Not like Trump. So we summon out the Blue Eyes Bright, and we've summoned out 2 nice little monsters, set 2 back rows. We are going to attack with Essel, very greedy. We are going to flip over the Legend Trap to pop, the old Widespread. We're only getting for 11. Forcing out the trap card here, though, is pretty good. But now our Cyburst player is like, I mean, you've got 2 Wimps on the field. I'm probably just going to beat you down. I'm very interested. Because this has gotten to top 4, we will get to see what this Cyburst list is. We might not get to see it immediately after the event, but we will get to see it at least a little bit after. We are going to weaken 1 on each board. Tribute to summon out Sigistate Soul again. Here he is. Go for an attack. Looks like there is a delay. And we are going to get hit by the other Widespread Ruin. So both players opened Widespread Ruin. We'll get in for a similar amount of damage. So both players kind of trading back and forth. Not really making much headway on the other. Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? Tribute 1, so this is almost certainly going to be Mini Wilhel. Now, is Mini Wilhel going to find a mine? He is going to find a landmine. Recital is... it's an awkward card because you don't really want to pop it. There's better cards to pop. At the same time, you're going to have to force it out anyway at some point. Activate Tribute to the Doom. So we're actually playing around the Recital. And we're discarding Kyberman. That's an interesting choice. set a back row, set a monster. Just going for the 2000 damage. So we got rid of the Kyber Man, presumably, because we're only playing one Blue Eyes Bright, and Blue Eyes Bright is currently in the graveyard. So if we put Blue Eyes Bright back into our deck, we'll put Kyber Man back in at the same time. I mean, we could have just set. I guess we just really wanted to deny resources. Weaken both of our monsters, so we've drawn into double boss. Bearing in mind, if we had opened any spell traps, that would have been quite an annoying brick. But our Cyburst player, 40-card Cyburst, has managed to just find double boss and no spell traps. So this was actually probably the perfect hand to actually draw. Now, we can activate Receptacle Marnie's effect if we want to. We chose not to. Why? We don't want the cards back in our deck? Curious. I'm pretty sure Receptacle Marnie hasn't got any other like weird restrictions on it. Let me have a look. Let's have a quick cheeky peek. No, there's no restriction on it. Just, he could have done it, he chose not to. So I assume we just, again, didn't want those cards back in our deck. Always Sonic Heroes. Although I'm not sure it really suits this game. Here he comes. Blue Eyes Bright Dragon is back in defense mode into Burst Stream of Destruction. That is pretty big, but it looks like we might not be getting any damage in. No, that was an entirely defensive Burst Stream, which is kind of sad. Ooh, we'll have to see where this goes. It's not super easy for Cyburst to out this. We're going to normal summon out a piece of Yggdrago and another one. Now, Chaos Femtron isn't actually the middle piece of Yggdrago, so this is quite an interesting play. We're then going to weaken, but have we drawn double boss again? How do we do this every turn? My man is drawing cracked every game. 2 turns in a row, we've already had 3 back row. Right? This is already kind of like trap Cyburst, so it's going to be playing a lot of trap cards. And we have managed to find 2 turns in a row exactly what we needed to get double boss monster out. This is actually insane. We are drawing so well right now. So there is a delay, so we do know that our Blue Eyes player has something. I'm not gonna lie, this is looking like Cyburst players to lose. Like, I can't see the Cyburst player losing this game at this stage. Like, what would have to happen? The Blue Eyes player has already lost Burst Stream, only has 6 cards left in deck. Blue Eyes Bright is currently sat in the graveyard. We have to, like... the back row has to be nothing, and then, like, double TSA into a Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's, like... That's the win con. Summon out Rhythmical. We don't activate it, because we don't want to draw out the rest of our deck. We're going to activate. We see another trap card. And that is probably the worst one for us to find. We can now pop it. Hey, Sakadetsu, welcome on in. You have to, I think you have to, if you don't, if the last card is, if it's negate attack. Oh, okay, so we do go for that. Why are we popping that? How are we clearing all 3 of these monsters? If we're not clearing all 3, there's no reason to pop that card. And we already knew what that one was. Set. So we can't pop all 3. So there was literally 0 reason to pop Recital. I'm very confused. There was no reason at all to pop the Recital. In Starry, I also fought a Cyburst trap deck in finals. Ah, I'll have to have a look at that. I never actually... I don't know if the deck lists got... Oh, the deck list will have been thingy. I actually would have watched the game. I just don't remember it being a trap build. I would have saved that slime with 400 life points unless he want to free a back row. It's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one. The thing is, as the Cyburst player, all you have to do is go defensive and you'll probably win. So, like, doing anything here is just icing on the cake, right? It's like... How much damage is this currently? That's just lethal. That's just lethal. Like, we didn't need to do any of this. We probably could have just won by going defensive, but we're going to kill anyway. Cyburst player's like, I'm not going to be a pussy. I'm not going to play defensive. I'm just going to slap you as hard as I can. And with that, as a 2-0 win, that does now mean that our Cyburst player, when it catches up, 2-0'd Deku, 2-0'd Decathlon, 2-0'd our Blue Eyes Monarch player that beat Gozu, and has just 2-0'd another Blue Eyes Monarch player. Now, there is a chance that actually we've just played against nothing but Blue Eyes Monarch the whole way up, and maybe it's just got a really good matchup into that. Ursus, on the other hand, has 2-0'd Machine Spellcasters, or Dark Magician Machines. Then 2-0'd... What was this guy playing? We saw this game, didn't we? This was Royal Rebels, I think. And then this was Cyburst, and now he's going against another Cyburst. Rebels, yes. Thank you, Ursus. So what is... Who's going to win this finals? So we have 40-card Trap Cyburst versus Light Machines. So, on one hand, the more interesting deck is probably Cyburst, which, by the way, I don't think anyone would have ever said that the most interesting deck was Cyburst. I think even when Cyburst was new, people weren't saying that Cyburst was an interesting deck. So, that's baffling on its own. But this is going to be Japan versus the West. Can Ursus win the game for all of us? Or will our Japanese Cyburst player take the dub? Find out soon. And if the game finishes in a reasonable time, we'll go and play some speed. So I want to play some Fluffals. Ooh. Right, the game is starting. Let's get this out of the way. Just trying to open up my speed account ready for when this finishes. Because I want to play some speed. Light Machines versus Cyburst again. To be fair, it is a bit more interesting. Don't worry about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I just want to open this. There we go. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the weird little sounds. Alright, now back into the game. So, our Cyburst player went first, set 3 back row, and did not play any monsters. So he's either got boss monsters in hand, or he has 2 spell traps in hand. We're going to summon out 2 bosses. This is so good for Ursus, and our opponent has nothing. Ursus looks like he's getting a free win on the first game. This is so detrimental for the Cyburst player already. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Hey, Monosync. Welcome, and congratulations on the 10-stream streak. Okay, Citrusate Soul's come down, but again, Citrusate Soul doesn't out this on its own. So, are we going to crash with Soul? Or are we just going to have a staring contest with 2 of these monsters? We are going to crash. So we have 1,000 life points. Right, chances are there's at least 1 or 2 Recital back there. So, this isn't like over, but like... Ooh. Scud mount. I don't think we have Scud, especially on the speed account, because we're going to be playing the speed account. I don't think I have the Scud mat on my rush account even. There goes one recital that could decide the game. Delete the channel? We don't have a redeem for that yet. I don't know how many gems we want for that. Okay, put some cards back in for the Bicorn. Then we're going to send it away immediately. Here comes Gold Rush. Set a monster. This does threaten lethal. And hitting the recital, the sniper Ursus managed to get rid of it and get in for exact lethal. Now, again, we will say the Cyberse player got very unlucky. He did open a brick. He couldn't play the game. Ursus also did get very lucky in the fact that, one, he drew exactly what he needed. And two, he also won the 33% chance on the back row snipe. But we take those. Sometimes you don't need to be the better player, you have to be the luckier player. That will at least need 2,000 channel points. Yeah, at least 2,000. Alright, so we've won the coin toss 2 games in a row. Lucky player always win. I mean, kind of. If you have infinite luck, I feel like almost no matter how bad your deck is outside of intentionally making it utter garbage and unwinnable, you'll always win, right? If you had like infinite luck. If you can always guarantee you draw the exact hand you want, I don't see how you lose in Rush. Turn 1 Yggdrago, 2 set. Could you imagine? Although Ursus hasn't had a pop-off turn of his own yet. Infinity luck don't exist. Not yet. Just you wait. AI will get there eventually. Alright, so we have 10 cards, or I guess 9 cards now to work with, to dismantle a set 3 board. Now, once again, Cyberse not the best deck at dealing with this. Set 3 is usually kind of Cyberse's kryptonite. We kind of want to use our maximum to deal with this. Tribute 2. Summon out Citrustate Soul. Summon out Chaos Femtron, mill 3, add a maximum piece. Oh, if that was the last maximum piece, could you imagine? No, we're just going to activate the skill. So we're going to summon out another boss monster. Wait, no, we don't have 2 bosses in hand. No way. Atrashoot as well, which is the one of Atrashoot, and then a second soul. How do we go from like... The only bad part of this board is that we don't have a third back row. Right, that's the only thing bad about this board. 3 2500s is actually really hard for Machine to deal with. Shield and Sword for game? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Shield and Sword here would be excruciatingly painful for the Cyberse player. But I mean, I think you could basically say that at any time during any game involving a Cyberse player. Oh, there goes the Legend spell. Getting that free +1 as well is potentially huge. The issue is, again, outing one of these shouldn't be too bad. Outing more than one is often a tall ask. Put those 3 back into the deck. Set monster in defense. Set another monster in defense. Set a back row. So we are going to be able to clear 1. We go for the obvious choice. Draw 5 cards. We have 9 cards to work with to pick apart this board. We already threaten to out most of this board with just what we already have. We're going to burn our opponent for 1200 damage here. Activate Particle Acceleration. This rips... Oh, that was such a good trap card. That is so unfortunate that it's been popped. Keeping the widespread here could have been absolutely huge. That could have been game determinative. We have another boss. How many bosses are we playing that we're constantly able to consistently get them out game and game and game and game at a time? Put these back into the deck. Throw another reduce. Set 1 back row. 2 back row. Oh. This is so hard to watch. I feel like Ursus is going to have such a tall order to out this. We're going to need to snipe the back row correctly and find shield and sword. And also, I don't know. I think this is not super doable. Like, it's not, the game isn't over, but like breaking this board and then killing him in a single turn seems next to impossible. We're going to have to just somehow claw our way back in. Grab out the Aim Eagle. Summon the Aim Eagle. Activate. So can we snipe a good back row? We really need to hit a good one. That was a very good one. Arguably the best back row we could have hitten. Hitten? That's not a word. We could have hit. Summon out Tough Striker. I mean, Tough Striker will clear, and it clears the most important one. But as is, our opponent needs a back row removal and a 500 attack monster. In fact, we don't even need a 500 attack monster. We just have lethal. We just need a back row removal to guarantee lethal. Ooh. But again, that back row almost needs to be exactly slime. We milled another trap card there. I think that was Recital, but it's hard to tell. Where are we going here? We add back... Yeah, it was Recital. We add back the Yggdrago piece. He took the smile out of his face. It's a lot of emotional damage. If we actually have Yggdrago, I think we just win, right? Because we just summon Yggdrago, and then slime doesn't work. Looks like we do not have Yggdrago. Summon out another Marnie. Activate Marnie. Shuffle more cards back. Just keep weakening this Tough Striker. He's like, just insulting him after insult after insult. Just like keep weakening him and weakening him and weakening him. So this has got to be the slime. And there is the slime. Right, Ursus is still in this, but we're kind of in a similar situation where we kind of need to hit our opponent's slime, assuming they still have it, and shield and sword. And that is the start of it. Could this be it? Could we sack our way into this win? That's 1,000 damage on the board. If we get another 3,100 damage on the board, we can threaten lethal. Discard Bicorn. Bicorn is a bit of a sus mill, or discard, because it potentially gets you a boss, but we'd obviously have to draw into it here. Activate the skill. So we did just draw a boss. And if we have another light monster, that will be 4,500 damage that we had to threaten with. If we avoid good back row, this could just be game. Also, this music is just really not good for the finals. Oh, here we go. Right, we summon out the Aim Eagle. We summon out the Essel. Going to steal this Cyburst deck for Quantum's tournament? I mean, you should. I assume you're in Angry Angel's Discord. 35? Is there no back row? We just shielded sword for game! Oh my god! Oh, that is... That also means that that hit on the widespread, that 33% chance, because I don't recall if we had any prior information, actually won us that game. In the same way, in game 1, we won a 33% snipe on, I believe it was Slime, to win the game in that one. I think we also just won a 33% snipe to win the game in this one. That was actually insane. Now, again, full credit to Ursus. Ursus played very well, managed to dismantle his opponent. At the same time, game 1, his opponent hard bricked, and then lost to Ursus just getting a 33% snipe. And then in this game, I felt like he got sacked by Shield and Sword, and then lost to a 33% snipe. Now, there might be a bit more to it than that, but that's how it at least appeared to me. So I do feel a little bit bad for our Cyburst player, especially since he was playing quite an interesting deck. But, at the same time, the better player came out the winner, right? Whoa, that was an exciting game. So with that, that means Ursus has taken the finals 2-0, which is pretty impressive. And that also means that he was the only person to so much as take a game off of the Cyburst player, who was 2-0ing absolutely everyone else. That was actually huge. Absolutely huge. I wish we had some of that luck. We got completely shafted in our game. I felt awful about that one. But yeah, that is going to be the end of that game. And we have like an hour left to stream, and you know what that means. We're going to play some Fluffals. We are going to have to change our deck, though, because I think we were playing like Suship for PvE. So we haven't played Speed in so long. We have not played any Speed in just such a long time. So we're going to jump back into rank with our Fluffal deck. We're going to completely get absolutely destroyed for a bit is probably what's going to happen here. Now, we probably get rid of the Angel now. But I've just been looking forward to playing some Speed. I really like Speed right now. And it helps that, again, like, my deck got a bunch of support. Now, it's been, like, it's been a while since the deck got the support. But we've been playing so much Rush lately, we haven't been able to play any Speed. So we're going to hop into some Speed. We're going to just enjoy playing some Speed. Been playing Suships for rank ups. Now, are you playing the new, like, was it Overlay Control or whatever it is, Suships deck? Speaking of Suships, here we go now. Yeah. The issue I have with Suships is my deck needs the graveyard to work, and Suships usually make Dweller on turn 1. Now, that's quite a common issue that a lot of decks kind of do that right now. Yeah, the new skill is so good. Yeah, the new skill is just really, really strong. The thing is, if I get Dwellered, I'm not sure what my, like, counterplay is. We'll have to see what we could do. Because it turns off Wings, it turns off Chain. Like, it'll turn off Toy Vendor. Like, it turns off everything. The rest of Suships doesn't really matter. We don't really care about the actual Suship cards themselves. It's entirely the Dweller that actually messes us up. Both up to 5. What 5 are we making? Is this the Chronomaly one? The issue is our hand as is not great. We're one card off of just having the ability to threaten lethal. We'll have to see what we do. Alright, so here's the Chronomaly one. So this is the negate, right? Target one face-up monster on your field and one Xyz monster or Chronomaly monster in your graveyard. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can attach 2 materials from this card and negate the activation. It's a monster effect negate. It's only the negate, so it's not going to stop anything else. 2 back row as well? Holy crap, bro. How do we stop that? I mean, we're always normal summoning Dog. We'll attempt to activate Dog, and we'll see if he negates. Crackdown? I mean, that's annoying. We've already used our normal, so here I think we are probably... Not being able to do that kind of sucks. We're probably just taking Bear, right? Right, let's see what our opponent does here. We'll activate Bear. He's thinking about negating this. Doing a big think. Huge think. So he is going to negate that. Which, I mean, it's annoying, but, like, it doesn't stop us from playing yet. So now we're going to activate Frightful Patchwork. The fact he still has something is so horrifying. If I send that, I can make a second guy. What do I do with that, though? I can pop... I think it has to be this, right? We have to get rid of that. It doesn't really make much difference because we can just search the other one out. If we use that, we can make one of those two. Use that to grab that. I still wouldn't get to do it the way I want to do it. Swinging over doesn't change anything. I think it has to be sabers here. What is this last back row? That's what really is concerning to me. So we'll drop Polly. I think it has to be Tiger here. The issue is if he does something to this, we're just dead. We're just like super dead. Making Tiger chain block the mana. Yeah, probably. I always forget about chain blocking is the issue that I'm having at the moment. We're going to target this. We're going to target the Crackdown. And I think we're going to just target the Vermana just to get rid of it. Compulse is not great for us. Not going to lie. Alright, we'll put this back. And we'll grab out the Scythe. Do we have a graveyard? Is it just... Yeah, it's just sabers. Okay. Go to battle, just swing. Okay. I don't know if we already knew about that, but it was so long ago. What is a chain, says Rushback? We used to play a lot of speed back in the day. The thing is, chain blocking hasn't really been prevalent for a long time. Like I say that. Chain blocking wasn't prevalent for a long time. Right, where are we going with this? I don't know where we interrupt this, because he hasn't normaled yet. I feel like if we just pop one of these, he just normals into something good. Overlays into Dreadnought. We just do not give a shit about Dreadnought. He's just going to draw a card. Yeah, that's fine. Again, still hasn't normaled yet. So that's another back row. So that's another back row. Right, we'll go Scythe. What do you have? You've got to have something in your hand that can stop me. Do this and this. Summon out Cruel Whale. I think we have to pop a back row. Have you got like Veiler in hand or something? Okay, so I have to target this, and I think we're just always popping a back row. Okay, we hit a Lance. Which is fine. Veiler only works in your main phase. Ah, see. Don't play it. No Orcus, lame. How are you supposed to combo into Link and Xyz now? Oh, we just don't. We will use Cruel Whale here. Fright Fur Fusion off the top. We don't have access to... Oh, he actually compulsed, so we can actually just try and go for lethal here. I think we just will do that then. We'll go Fright Fur Fusion. Holy top deck. There were a lot of top decks that did get us into a really good position anyway. And this doesn't necessarily even win us the game. We go for Tiger here, right? I don't think there's any other option. Veiler! Okay, so he can now hit our Sabers. Which is like, that's annoying. But like, we can still play. And IDP? Wait, is that gonna hit? No way, we only have 2 Edge Imp. No, we don't have any Edge Imp now. Bruh. I can make this, but like, what's the point? Is there any point at all? We'd banish this, we don't have any more to bring back. It would have like a little bit of built-in protection. I don't think it's worth it. Oh wait, I don't get a choice. I have to make it because it's the only legal target now. Well, that's cringe. So what I should have done then would have been to use the effect in response, sent one to graveyard and fused that into it. But I forgot this guy was even going to get summoned here. He had like the exact perfect way to stop this. Like the exact perfect way to mess me up completely. If I was smart and I had forethought, I would have sent one of these guys to the bin and then fused from the graveyard. What does he make, a 29 here? I do feel like I'm getting a little... Like, we have made a couple of little mistakes, but I do think overall we are getting sacked in the sense that he has had exactly the perfect outs to deal with what we had. And the fact we got to play through his turn 1 board as well, I think we did really well to do that. We did make this with 3 guys, so he can't be destroyed by battle. Now, when do you negate me? During your main phase or in your opponent's battle phase? Okay, so we take the 500 damage then. There's nothing we can do about that. What could we possibly draw off the top to help us here? Like, Toy Vendor or Bear? Do we even have? Yeah, it is still live. Activate Wings. That's only once per turn. We can get a fusion. There's no point in doing that. Penguin gets us to draw. Summon, grab another one anyway. We'll go Patchwork. Search the last poly, and Chain doesn't really do anything now. We can search out the last Patchwork, but it's not going to accomplish anything. I guess getting out of the deck is still pretty good. Normal Pengu. Summon Dog. Activate Dog. Probably just grabbing Cat, right? Mind, does Cat accomplish anything here? I guess if we draw into the last, then it does. So now we'll activate Poly. Is there a reason to make one of these over the other? That one won't be able to attack directly. So we'll make Whale. I mean, that's just lethal, right? I'm pretty sure that's just lethal. Oh, wait, no, it's not, because we don't have Thingy in graveyard. No, it's still lethal. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm, like, massively overthinking this. We'll add this. Then we'll get that. Then we'll pop this and this. We'll go to battle. We'll swing. And we'll swing. Okay, we got there in the end. Don't forget the negate during the battle phase. Oh, we were not caring about that at all, so we were always getting rid of it before the battle phase. We got there in the end. We got there in the end. We need to, like, de-rust. That's going to be a big thing of this, is just, like, playing a bunch of games till we get back into the swing of things. Alright, let's see what our next opponent's going to be on. It's Smash from Saudi Arabia. Playing Yugi Moto. So my assumption is probably going to be like Blue Eyes. It'll be Dark Magician. That's usually going to be what this is in this kind of situation. Bane of Darkness. Which one is Bane of Darkness? That's the Buster Blader skill. I don't really want to get Buster locked, if I'm being perfectly honest. Alright, let's start with Penguin. Activate Penguin. Summon Dog. Activate Dog. So we're not going to get another normal. We can activate that discard, but then we need to get another one in graveyard anyway. I could take Sheep, put that back. That doesn't really accomplish anything. I think the actual take is just Bear here, to be honest. But then again, we do kind of want that as well. But if we're going to activate that anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, we take Bear. We have to activate Bear because we need to get a Fluffal into the graveyard. Flip over Toy Vendor. Activate it. The discard... Yeah, it's always wings. It's always wings. Losing Polly kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We then go wings, plus Bear. Activate the effect. This gets us a Sabers, which we can then just turn into something else. Then we're going to go ahead and make Dweller. Put it in defense. Chances are he's going to be able to mess with it anyway. Set. Activate the skill. Swap this for a Scythe. And then we pass. I just need to... Man, I just really need new Rush stuff. It feels so bad seeing all these amazing new announcements for physical and then the drip feeding content endurance. Yes, it is pretty rough. I have no idea, by the way, if Dweller does anything against this deck, but, like, it's our go-to turn 1 play, so... Summoner's Art, that gets you another search. So he's got a Dark Magician in hand, he's got 2 Dark Magician in hand, and he's got a Buster Blader. Sets a back row. Summons a bad monster. Okay. Bane of Darkness, what are we doing to this? Adds Polly. And adds Diffusion Wave Motion. Right. Activates Polly. They're going to have the ability to negate spell cards. Hello, a human Portuguese dub fan. Welcome, welcome. Dark... Oh, which one's this? Dark Cavalry. Text Piercing. When a card is activated that targets this card on the field, you can discard a card to get the activation and destroy it. Okay, that's also fine. Is that a raid from Acceleration Gate? Welcome, welcome on in. Please stop popping off, sir. Listen, you've had your fun. Stop popping off. I want my turn. Hello, I am a raider. Hello, Acceleration Gate. Mr. Raider, welcome, welcome. End of the main phase. Alright, well here comes Scythe. We're always doing this. We're always using this. We're always using this. question is, what are we popping with this? I don't know what you're going to have to negate, if anything. We'll block with Penguin, or we'll block for Penguin. So I'm going to target my Toy Vendor, and then I'm going to target your... probably just Cavalry. Sure, we'll send Egypt Chain to the graveyard. Your turn, our turn. What do I actually want here? I kind of just want Dolphin. I want to take Dolphin. It's got to be Patchwork. Watch us draw our last Poly right now, just to really throw everything into whack. Hello, I'm a Raider. Hello, Ex-Raider. Oh, don't fuse again. What does this do? Like, if he just makes another one. What does Dark Paladin do here? I guess you could stop my spells? You can stop one of them. I will allow it. I will use my Cruel Whale. I'm going to gain some attack points. You can't stop me. Well, second Patchwork. Dead card, but it is what it is. You can only activate one per turn. Negate the activation. Alright. Fight for Patchwork. Now, the activation of my spell card has been negated. So if I understand Yu-Gi-Oh! I can do it again! Right, Poly and... Ooh, I don't even know what I want here. I guess it's gotta be Sabers. I think we always summon Dolphin. So I'll summon Dolphin. What is your back row? What have you got for me, sir? Activate Dolphin. Grab back Vendor. Send Wings. Flip over Toy Vendor. Activate Wings. Should not matter, really. What's your delay, sir? What have you got? That is a really weird series of cards to draw. I want my cat. It's important to me. Activate Poly. We're just going to make Tiger and try and just pop everything. That's the plan currently. Go, Tiger! I guess Tiger is the most important, so we'll use Tiger here. I want to pop that one. And ideally, I would also like to pop that one. Now, if you could just let that happen, that would be really, really good. I would like to have my polymerization back as well. He's not responding. What is that back row then? I mean, battle? Swing? Swing. Okay, everything went okay. Everything went fine. Oh my god, you chain blocked! Listen, Sora, we know how to chain block! We've been chain blocking for a long time. It's just been a while since we played the game. We don't have a stereo mode? Not yet. Soon, one day. Have you tried Rafflesia and Fluffals? I've been playing it for other decks, and that Dweller does nothing to. The only issue with that is finding room for it. Like, finding just space in the extra deck is so hard. Rafflesia is like Guile's theme, I see. Goes with everything. Well, basically, yeah. We've got a Lord of Crease certified and everything. And it's good. We win, we win. So much gas. Congrats on your first chain block. Guys, we're having a chain block party to celebrate my very first ever chain block. That's what we're doing right now. This is now a chain block celebration stream. As dictated by Sora. It's a good feeling to chain block. It's one of those weird ones where I'm so used to, when I played this deck in Master Duel, I would always protect the fusion monsters. I would always be like, okay, we'll put Penguin later in the chain so that you can negate my Penguin, but you can't negate, like, Tiger. But in Duel Links, I found that the most common thing that happens, at least, like, especially during your opponent's turn, is, God, what's he called? The guy that negates effects in the graveyard. What is his name? It's like discard, negate, and effect activates in the graveyard. I've completely forgotten his name now. Well. Bear. Vendor. Flip Vendor. Activate Vendor. Discard Wing. Ah. That's a disappointing mill. Come on, we'll go Wings. Skullmeister. Yes, Skullmeister. That is exactly who we were thinking of. These draws are not particularly exciting. Wings is once per turn. Otherwise, I would love to do it again. It's probably just dog. Let's give me dog. Normal dog. Activate dog. Is there much of a point to taking you? I could make Dweller, but like Dweller with nothing behind it seems kinda bad. Do we even bother making Dweller then? I mean, I kinda still want to make Dweller. No, it doesn't even make Dweller. It doesn't get to Dweller. I'm just being stupid. So I guess we just take Penguin? It's gotta be Penguin, right? Like, what other option do we have? Like, just fuse, activate that, get that. Ah, screw it. We'll take Cat. We're just going Cat. We're going to drop Polly now. And we are going to make probably just a whale here. I mean, we could just make Kraken. Kraken's not too bad here, to be honest. Let's go Kraken. We're going to use this, and we're going to use this. Let's go make a Kraken in defense. Go Cat. Target the Polly. We'll go Chain. Then we'll take Patchwork. Take back our Polly. Activate the Patchwork. Get us our other Polly, and we'll also take our Scythe. And then I think we're just done. It's not the greatest end board in the world, but it's a board. Man, I hope we get something like, here is the new world with a few weeks... In a few weeks and directly after that fusions. I don't think it'll be directly after. I think that would like steal the thunder a little bit. By the way, here's a new box. The actual announcement, we are closing Rush Duel Links. Please, no. Ooh. I don't feel confident against this deck right now. I don't know where I'm supposed to interrupt this, if I even can. Ironically, Dweller was absolutely 100% the play here. No, like Fusion. And again, there's nothing I can do about this specifically. This is the other issue. Because he's playing specifically Lunalight, he gets to abuse the fact that I summoned out Kraken. Right, summons that Leo Dancer. Cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Make a second attack once per turn. Contact destroy all special summoned monsters your opponent controls. Okay. It's just that it makes an attack on a monster, isn't it? So I'm going to get completely cooked no matter what here. Because he's going to declare an attack on this. And then... yeah, I think we just do this now. I can just make this, right? If I do this using this, this, and this... Now, we did make a little bit of a doo-doo here, or a boo-boo, because we were fully expecting to just make a different guy here. I was planning to pop one of these to stop him from going into a rank 4, but because we've done this now, we've done this a bit early, so now he can change his mind on what he makes with the rank 4. And this is where it becomes problematic, because if we hadn't changed our mind, then we couldn't have got punished by this. And that is now lethal. Ah! I think we did win that. I think if we didn't play like an idiot, we just win. How do we get past Leo Dancer? We just summon out Bear. Like, we have Bear in hand. What we needed to do was realize that we could have made that a little bit earlier, then not done it until he tried to go into battle phase after he'd already made a rank 4, and then we just win the game. Like, it's just an automatic win from that point. But we forgot that we could make it, and so we clicked Scythe a little bit too early. We needed to just hold Scythe. But now that we know that, now that we've seen that, we just need to remember that for next time. To be fair though, we did not expect Lunar Lights. We did not expect Lunar Lights whatsoever. I think against Lunar Lights as well, if we go second, I don't really see how we lose that. But going first, we needed to make Dweller as well. Like, he had so many graveyard effects. But we were like, we don't even know what he's playing. If he's playing Raid Raptors, what does Dweller even do? Like, Dweller's not useless against Raid Raptors, but it's not super great. Live Twins is a bit of a frustrating deck as well. Usually, we beat this deck without too much effort, but it's one of those decks where if he just draws well and he just interrupts what we're trying to do, it can get a little bit spicy. Rin. Also, hello, Max. Welcome, welcome. Right, Kiss a Kill comes down. So we got pink. Pink effect. Bring back little blue. What's good? Yeah, things in general are going quite well at the moment. I mean, we scrubbed out of the Rush Tool tournament, but we haven't really been try-harding in Rush for a while now. So, like, it's a weird one. I think the current Rush meta is good, but none of the decks are like, oh man, I really want to try hard this deck. So I'm just kind of like enjoying it for the most part, playing very casually, having a great time. And then we're just playing speed. Because we haven't played speed in a long time. I want to play some speed. I have over 6k gems saved up, still grinding, going for the new speed main box. Yeah, I am doing the exact same thing. My speed account currently has 9,999 gems, which is, I guess, this account. Actually, it might not be exactly 9,999 anymore, because I think we did spend some yesterday, because they were beginning to expire. Wait, how often does this thing come down? Like, these two I see all the time. I do not see... Why are we making Unicorn? We're just going for a draw? Okay. I mean, that might be a really good play, I don't know. Well, toy vendor. Activate toy vendor. Do I even want a special summon here? Bear is dead right now. It doesn't do anything. Summoning out to the field doesn't actually accomplish much. Unless I get a link. Yeah, okay. We'll special summon out Bear. Go Bear! Now you face Bear. Right, we'll go Toy Vendor. Activate Kiss to Kill Frost. What does this do? Okay, just gets to draw a card. That's fine. So now we add Dolphin. Normal Dolphin. Activate Dolphin. Target Toy Vendor. Send Wings. Then, how do I want to do this? We could activate the Toy Vendor if we want, or we could do this, put that back in hand. Get that out, and then Link. Right, we'll special out Sheep. God, our opponent is really thinking with every single play. I wonder if he's never played against Fluffals before. IDP. I mean, that's kind of cringe, but, like, I get it. What do we hit here, though? Everything's kind of already done its thing. I mean, that's fine. Activating that's pointless. I guess from here, we will just do this. Swap this out. Grab out the Scythe. I think that's all we do here, right? We just go straight to battle. Activates Kiss to Kill. What's even the point of this? What do you accomplish from summoning out blue and getting a pop? I'm still going to kill one of them. Aha, I continue my main phase. Now what will you do? No, we're just going to straight to battle. I mean, he gets a pop or he gets a draw, right? I actually just don't even think I bother attacking, to be honest. New secret main box. Wait, you get to do this every turn? What? While any current night monster on the field, your opponent normal draws in your... For your normal draw and draw phase, draw one card for each card. Okay, so nothing changed then. Okay. Unchained Abomination. Okay. So if I pop this, he gets to pop my guy. He's going to activate that and bring back his. Activate that. And I guess we're going to do this now. God, there's so many, like, anti-graveyard cards that just make things so unfun. It's like, I just want to play the game, and my opponent's like, no, I don't want you to play the game. Alright, what's about Cruel Whale? Cruel Whale effects. We'll pop this, and then... I don't think it really matters. I'm going to pop a back row. We'll activate Toy Vendor. And we'll grab... I mean, I guess we'll just take wings. Oh, wait, we should have taken dog. Dog was way better there. We'll use the effect of scythe. Oh, I should have read this a little bit better. During the end phase, he just gets a free pop. It means I'm just dead. Yeah, we're just dead. We're just dead. We have just played badly. That was a combination of him having a very, very good open and us playing bad. Again, we have to just get back into the swing of things. We're still de-rusting. We're still, like, relearning all the decks again and what they do. Because back when we were playing, Live Twin was not playing Unchained Abominations. We didn't have to worry about it. So what would the play have been? Pop the Unchained Abomination instead of popping the back row, and then we just, like, win, right? Like, I don't really see how we lose from that position. We have opened... I think we opened this exact hand last game. Also, we were using Dingo. See that? No. Well, you're thinking way, way further back. We're talking back when Fluffal first got their update. Like, when they got their update last. That's awkward. Yeah, when a card is destroyed by a card effect, he pops. When a card is destroyed by battle, he pops. During the end phase, he pops. Yeah, it's just a lot of popping. This into that doesn't do anything. I'd have to get lucky off of the draw. So I think we actually have to go Toy Vendor here. Just to actually do anything. That's not bad, though. Take a free penguin. They got their update at the same time we got Unchained. Yeah, but my point is that the Live Twins I was playing against weren't playing Unchained Abomination when it came out. Now, obviously, some people were playing it, just not the ones that I was playing against. We take dog. We will activate penguin. Summon dog. Dog effect. Grab dolphin. Normal dolphin. Activate dolphin. Set vendor. Send wings. Flip over the toy vendor. We will activate this toy vendor. And I think we are just going to send this wings. We're going to go wings, wings. Activate toy vendor effect. This will get us to Fluffal Sheep. We'll then go probably just Dweller here. Actually, do we want to use that? Probably don't. We probably want to use the other one. Because the whole point of this is just to make room. We'll go 1, 2. Make the Dweller, and the Dweller can go here for now. Special out Sheep. Activate Sheep. Penguin back to hand. Summon out Chain. Make Nightmare using Chain and Sheep. We'll go Nightmare Phoenix first, and then we'll discard probably just a penguin here. Target this. Use the effect of Chain. Grab Patchwork. Activate Patchwork. Grab Polly, and we'll grab probably a Scythe here. Activate Polly. We'll make Tiger using 1 and 2. Out comes Tiger. We'll go Tiger first. Target the defense. Target the back row. Activate Cat. Grab back Fusion. I'm pretty sure this is game, but just in case, we will then activate Polly again. Now, is he quitting out? That's the question. I leveled Ruri/Lulu to max yesterday. It took me a day. What rank? Our rank is like gold right now, mate. Average rank experience. Oops, you missed my message. Well, we caught it up in the end. They got that update at the same time. Thank you for following Shadow. Hello, hello, welcome in. Well, we'll take it. We'll take the dub. Now, that opening hand looked kind of dodgy, but we got there in the end, and that might have just been entirely off of the other one. Angel Cup Rush. Yeah, we finished the Angel Cup now. Now is the end part of the title, where we play a bit of Fluffal. And now we go again. How are you? We're doing pretty good. We are enjoying playing the Fluffals at the moment. We do need to still like get the dust off. It's been like a whole month since we played the Fluffal. Did Monarchs win? No, Machines won, and they beat Cyburst in the final. I think Blue Eyes came joint third. Battle Chronicle. It's been a while since we played against this deck. Now, this is the deck we used to just farm. We used to just, like, have, like, 100% win rate against Battle Chronicle. We'll see if we can keep that up or not. Can I ask a question? Of course you can ask a question. Whether or not I can answer it is a whole other question, but... use that plus that doesn't actually accomplish much. I guess we always start with dog no matter what. Behold my dog. He has back row he can use, so... Might have a chalice or something. Majesty with Eyes of Blue. Like, one face of the field, it cannot attack. Why? Why are we doing that? Do we want a card in the graveyard for, like, the fusion spell? Getting that in graveyard's going to be a tall ask. It might just be... We do already have the fusion. Do we just take Dolphin? Like, straight up? Like, Dolphin might be the play. I'm just going to take Dolphin. I'm just going to hard drop Polly. Just go Tiger. So I need you in the graveyard. I need you in the graveyard. I don't need Dog in the graveyard. So I think we're fine just sending these two for now. Come forth, Tiger. We are going to chain block with the Penguin, just because I think just guaranteeing that this works is probably just better. Pop this. Pop this. See what it does here. Activate the Penguin. Do you know how to get Trains card set? If we're talking about trains as in the train cards from Anakaboom, they're going to be... What you want to do is you want to go to search in the deck builder, and then there'll be a little button in there that says how to obtain. And that's going to be the best way to find out how to get pretty much any card you want. So a lot of them will be from Anakaboom herself, and the other ones will probably be from some sort of box. I couldn't tell you which box, though. I mean, we just kind of... I don't really want to, like, spin plates, but I don't know what that card in his hand is. So I guess we're going to just do stuff. Yeah, sure. Welcome to the field, Penguin. Out you come. Let's go wings. Go toy vendor effect. Grab cat. Do we just fuse them? Screw it, we'll make a Dweller. Out you come, Dweller. We'll just drop Poly. Make this using this and this. Use the effect of cat. Grab back the Poly. And then we'll go Poly. Do this. And we'll use it. Make it using this and this. Because now we should win through anything with this, right? There's no way we don't have super lethal. Right, battle. Attack. Okay. We got there. We got there in the end. Man, I really hope the Rush World spectators know what they're talking about, unlike the CC spectators. Well, apparently, I was being told yesterday... No, I was being told today by Crimson Reaper, I think it was saying how last year the Speed commentators didn't really know what they were talking about. So, I would be shocked if the Rush commentators know what they're talking about. It's probably going to be the same people. Overlay Control Earth Machine is insane. I really like Earth Machine. I was starting to build Earth Machine on this account until the Fluffal stuff came out, and then I kind of dropped it, but we'll be going back to it eventually. I know in Konami, they're probably going to have the casters, the same casters as last year, who didn't know what they were talking about. Yeah, exactly. Basically, what Serena's saying is what I've heard as well. How do I use Pendulum Summon? So, I mean, that's a whole mechanic, but like, you have cards called Pendulum cards, and you can place them face up in your spell trap by setting them to the pendulum scale, which is whenever you go to summon them, it will say, do you want to summon it or do you want to put it in the pendulum scale? You put 2 in there, and then if you have 2 cards of different numbers, you can then pendulum summon once per turn any card from your hand or face up from your extra deck, which is a whole other can of worms. But that is a level that is between your 2 scales. That is the abridged version. It's a good deck, highly recommend. It's one of those weird ones where I kind of want to play decks that are going to be like relatively strong in tournaments, and I feel like Earth Machine is one of those decks that will be relatively strong in tournaments. I don't think it's going to necessarily win, but I think it's one that could top, right? We could see a top 8 finish or a top 16 finish even for like Earth Machines, right? Like, it just has to get a little bit lucky. When I'm getting the rest of my Ghost Trick support and Duel Links... Hi, by the way. Hello, Damoni. Damoni. I've watched your streams before, if you're who I think you are. The name... I'm pretty sure you're the Ghost Trick... Is it Alucard? The problem is I'm terrible with names. I'm absolutely useless with names. When you get to a certain age, you start just being an idiot, is what happens. Yes, that's me. Yes. There we go. We got there in the end. But, yes, I would like to see some Ghost Trick stuff come in. Ghost Trick is always a bit of a weird deck, where I've only ever played against them in Limited, and in Limited, they were frustrating to play against, but I'm pretty sure in, Constructed, they're a lot more exciting. And I'm using the word exciting very loosely, I suppose, for a deck that is setting a lot of defense position monsters. I put Stargazer Magician and Performer Pal Gongato. I know it's not meta, but I love them. I mean, I'm exactly the same for Fluffal. I absolutely love Fluffal. Fluffal has had, stints of playability, right? But I think it's safe to say they've never been, a super, super powerful. They're always kind of like a strong rogue deck, I guess. If we go dog... Where do we actually go with this hand? We want to ideally make a Dweller here. No matter what he's on, Dweller's always going to be really strong. The issue is, how the hell do we get to Dweller from this? Discard and top leaves us with nothing. If we get Bear, we can go 1-2. That still doesn't get us there. It just gets us another search. It does fill up the graveyard. You don't do anything until that's in the grave. I actually think we take, as weird as it is, I actually think the play might be Bear. I don't think any other card does anything here. So I go Bear into Vendor. Flip over vendor. Activate vendor. Send vendor. That needed to be something good. Like, any level 4 would have been really strong. So, penguin does nothing here. Dog does nothing here. No normal summon, already used, doesn't do anything, doesn't do anything. So it has to be sabers. Retrofit. Change sabers for scythe. The problem is, if we manage to get out Dweller, I think we just win. Because if he's playing Sacred Beast, Dweller hurts that deck quite a lot. And if he's playing Unchained, Dweller shuts that deck down. So not getting out Dweller on turn 1 feels so bad. It doesn't work, if that even makes sense. I'm confused why Pendulum Summon not summon my monsters. Well, have you got 2 Pendulum Scales on the field? That's step 1 of the plan. Unaffected offense spell trap cards. I think we don't care about this. I think we have to get rid of the field spell. I think the field spell is the big problem card. Alright. I'm just doing this now. I'm getting rid of the field spell. The field spell is just like, it's so good. Take Dolphin. Alright. Alright. Now, it's going to come down to what else he's got in his hand. But if he doesn't have another field spell, I feel like we're in an okay position right now. Pendulum Summon, not summon monster. I put Stargazer Magician and Perform Pel Gongato. It doesn't summon the monster. I'm going to have to look up those cards. It has to... So the monster that you summon has to be between the 2 scales. That's the only thing that you need to do for like that specifically. Okay, attacks with that. That's kind of fine. We'll activate Cruel Whale. Get Cruel Whale to gain the attack, and we will send Repair to the graveyard. Then we can activate Scythe if we want to protect. Sure. I'll keep my guy around. Only lose 100 life points. Ugh. Draw for turn. Patchwork is a very nice top deck here. So we will start with Dolphin. Activate the Dolphin. We'll set Toy Vendor back to the field. We will send Fluffal Wings. Go ahead and use Patchwork. What have you got that you can do here? Hamon doesn't do anything here, right? Oh, negate any spell trap. That's fine. I actually think that's good for us. Because now that that negate's gone, he can't stop the important shit that actually matters. Activate Vendor. No, we have already normal. That does nothing, that does nothing. That's pointless. I think we just take Sabers, to be honest. Then... we'll just drop Frightful Fusion. I'm an idiot! I'm an idiot! We don't have the card that I need. This is still fine. Can we game him if we just do this? No, it's not fine. It's not fine at all. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Oh, I've made so many bad plays this game. I deserve to lose it. I deserve to lose it. We had everything we needed. And we've thrown it away. Ah, we literally had lethal in like 3 different ways. And yet I've thrown this game unbelievably hard. Which is so, so very sad. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. Come out in defense mode. End. Oh, I am so dumb. We had so many ways to just win the game, and we're actually throwing so hard. Alright, Scythe. The issue is, I'm going to run out of time before I actually get to finish doing this. No, we ran out of time. Ah, bro, that was such a free win. That was so free. I even think we still win if we had time to execute the rest of our play. We did not need to lose to that guy. That guy was a bloody mouth breather. That was such a free win, and we got completely destroyed by our own stupidity and nothing else. The power of derusting. It's going to be a painful road we walk, but we will eventually get to the end of it, and then we will be semi-competent at playing this deck again. We will get there eventually. We need to just be able to play quicker. That's what we need. We just need to go faster, 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 faster. Ugh, that's not exactly an ideal hand. Now that was actually really stupid. No. I think we're going to do this. There's 2 plays we can make here, right? The first is that we fuse into Tiger, pop our own card, get a search, normal summon into like Dog. Or we'd probably normal summon into Dolphin. And then just hope that we draw into really good cards. The alternative is we just do this, which is like super safe. But like the ceiling on this play is so much worse. But we guarantee that we actually have a play. Okay. What are we doing here? Every combo player's worst enemy is the clock. It does. The thing is, I think a lot of combo players won't mind as much because like they just can think faster. But I am just not that person. Tap directly. Number of times once per turn. Cannot be destroyed. Battle or card effects. Okay, that's fun. Power of the Guardians. It's only if the equipped monster be destroyed. Okay, so I can just pop the Power of the Guardians then. Alright, mate, calm down. This is like the cheesiest like OTK I've ever seen. So do this and this. I think we have to pop the Psychic Blade, right? Otherwise we're just dead no matter what. As much as I really want to get rid of the Power of the Element. Or Guardians even. Why are you doing that? I guess you have to. But then you don't have any counters yet. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That does make sense. So I'm going to target my Toy Vendor, and I'm going to target your Psychic Blade. I'm going to activate my Toy Vendor. And here we just take Dolphin. Summoning 6 monsters from the extra isn't enough for them. Listen, summoning 6 monsters from the extra is really cool, okay? Goes to battle. Does he only get to attack once because he's only got one counter? Or is it like an additional time? Up to the number of materials attached to it. Okay, we'll activate Cruel Well here. Target Cruel Well. Send that. Fluffal Bear. So this is just for the rest of the turn, right? To the end of this turn. All Lyraless monsters as well. Okay. So we'll summon out Dolphin. It'd be really weird if I just didn't destroy it and just sent it to the graveyard instead. That would be funny. Oh wait, I could have just sent it to the graveyard anyway, couldn't I? Does he destroy or not? I always get confused with him. Yeah, it's destroy. Okay, so the other one sends. So we'll send that. Flip over the toy vendor. Activate wings. Banish sheep. Draw another card. We still have the other one, so that works still. I guess we just take this always. I can activate that if I want, or I could just suck it up. Sucking it up seems like the funny play, so I kind of want to do that. So I'm going to go Poly. And then I'm going to make Bear. Because who doesn't love Bear? Activate the skill. My Nightingale. Way. I mean, we had plenty of ways to beat that, right? We could have made Kraken and just sent it to the graveyard. We had so many different things we could do. But, unfortunately, for everyone, probably mostly me, because I've been really enjoying playing this, it is gone 4 o'clock, which means that is going to be the end of the stream. I know it sucks. We want to see more Fluffals. I will be back again on Tuesday, probably playing more Fluffals, because we only really got to play about an hour of them. And I feel like we've just kind of gotten a lot of the rust off. We still haven't actually started playing the deck to a high level again yet, which we'll get back there eventually. We'll get back there eventually. But yeah, we will be back again on Tuesday, where we should be playing more Speed. You can probably catch me, because I believe I'm doing some sort of watch party for Worlds with Grand Harrier, so you'll probably be able to catch me over on his stream at some point over the weekend, which could be kind of fun. Who knows? We might get to watch some Speed, we might get to watch some Rush, we might be chatting shit. Everyone likes the yapping. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.